Mission Impossible.
Crazy.
All right, so red lorry, yellow lorry. All right, let me tweet this out right now. Obviously, it's probably only gonna be about 60 minutes, but that's fine. Right, gonna do that real quick. Also, let me run up the Marvel Mandem.
Bro, I played to it. Well, first of all, in order to play to N.K.A, I have to be on a VPN in like
Holy
all the
shit!
time. I don't know why. I don't know what
What?
anti-China, anti-Taiwan thing they got set up, right? Bro, they hit you with some error code, right? And at first, I didn't know the error code was was basically saying you can't play this game because of your region. Get fucked, right? I had no idea. So I used Lee, what's her name? Riot. I used their ticket system, like, hey, report the code, tell us what the issue is. So I reported the code, put a screenshot, told them what the issue is. They responded like 16 or like 12 hours later, like not too bad. And then they're like, oh, have you tried unplugging your Ethernet cable? Have you tried restarting your machine? I'm like, bro, like, and by the time they got back to me, I had already done the Googling and the Redditing and discovered that this error code is what you get when you try to access the game from a non like supported area or something. So they had the gall to respond to me talking about, have you unplugged the man? Shut up, man. What do you mean about unplugged the Ethernet cable? What do you mean? What do you mean? You're telling me not like they made a whole list. Have you done this? Have you done that? And nothing in that list said, bro, you're in Taiwan. Get fucked. Like nothing said that. So I'm like, okay, this game. And then like I think like I actually I realized right upon playing 2XKO, like, so I picked up Vi because I'm like, okay, who has a dash punch? Who is the most similar to fucking Chesto Makoto? Who's got a dash punch? Just give me that. Okay, Vi's got it. Okay, cool. I don't want to learn four characters. Let me do Juggernaut. Let me do. I played around with what's the one where you can only your assist character is only a tag, like only an assist, but they can't be tagged in.
Sidekick.
I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. So I messed around with Juggernaut and Sidekick, and I played it for like 30 minutes, and I'm like, I realized that I think I think I'm at that stage where the investment required for fighting games is so high, or perhaps it's like I'm just in a different place in life now because I was playing it and I'm like, literally, this is gonna sound so stupid. It's gonna sound like such an anomaly, stupid thing to say. But as I'm practicing the combos, I literally said in my head, bruv, I could be practicing like dancing right now. I could be putting this time into like practicing my popping technique or my six step, and I'd be getting, I would be putting in the same effort. Like that's how much effort it is. So it's not like I don't like the game or anything. It was just a thing where I just really truly realized like, do I want to? Am I at the phase in life now where I can justify putting all this time into this fighting game, let alone a bunch of other fighting games or different things I might want to play, right? I'm like, oh, that's something I really have to wrestle with in myself. That's the only reason why I haven't really played much to it scale.
No, fair enough. I mean, listen, if they're actively trying to get you out of here, then it's gonna be a lot tougher. You know what I'm saying? But that's
Yeah,
bad that you
yeah.
even had to jump through all those hoops. I never thought it would actually
Man,
have
it's
got that
actually,
crazy. Man said
yeah, it's actually
you're in
stupid.
redacted, bro. You're not even in. Like, you
Yeah,
can't even say where you're at. Man is
yeah,
straight
yeah.
redacted.
But that aspect it reminded me of why characters are so important because like what I just complained about, like if Makoto was in Street Fighter 6, I would be playing Street Fighter 6 because I spent so much time on Third Strike and SF4 like developing the muscle memory with that character that
Hmm.
if that character was just in the next game, I would continue to play. And it made me think like all the people who have their main in their game, they're eating good right now. But I'm here like fucking looking at any fighting game. Who's got a dash punch? Who's got a dash punch? I'm like, my chin is quivering. I'm like shaking. I'm getting withdrawals. Like, all because I'm looking for that character archetype. But you know what I mean? It would just be all well and good if just my character was in a recent game. Like, why are they doing this?
Your character is gonna be ignorant if and when she gets into SF6. I can't lie. I think
Actually,
five would
I
be
don't.
rough. You know what I mean? Would have been rough. I think just
As long as
because.
she's there, I just
Yeah,
yeah.
but I would have said just because like the fact that everyone's movement in that game almost felt like Makoto's. I'm not gonna lie. At least at the start, it just felt like everyone was just
Yeah,
dashing and just stand medium and do you know what I mean? Stand strong.
yeah, yeah.
So I think it was a little bit rougher for. But in six, I think that would be kind of fun to see her in a game like that. I won't lie.
Yeah,
I mean, everyone's getting their head caved in anyway. You might as well. You know what I'm
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
saying?
But yeah, it was just an interesting way to like realize the import. Like obviously we all know the importance of having a favorite character and following your character and stuff. But yeah, the 2xKO, the VPN shit, and then just all the playing the character and then realizing it in that way, in that method, was kind of an eye opener.
No, 100%. So what? Who did you say you like? What Vi? Yeah, Vi and
Yeah, I just picked and Vi is cool. Like I enjoyed what I played. It was just like as I'm playing her, I'm realizing like, man, I all of this time, like it would be so cool if I could just like rather than starting over again, if I could just have the character that I like in the other franchise and just utilize. It's kind of like when you go from job to job, right? Typically, you wanna chase a job that typically utilizes the skills that you've amassed from your previous job, or not even just jobs, but just hobbies in general, right? Like you kind of don't want to start the reset button or hit the reset button and start over again. And I think I'm experiencing that in fighting games basically, um, which is frustrating. Obviously, not everyone. This is not an issue for everyone because some people they enjoy the game so much that like they got multiple other characters that they care about and stuff like that, right? But for somebody like me who's got less time and more interested in like the character archetype, it does suck when your preferred archetype is not really there as much.
I hear you. I think the discovery phase for me is a lot of fun. So because of that, I tend to find many characters like pretty fun. I know a lot of people will say that obviously, I just look for zoners, and I do actually gravitate towards zoners. But I think historically, like whenever it comes to just if I'm to tinker around with characters or just play them, it wouldn't always just be simply a zoner. It would also be like a sort of number of other characters. That's why, like, I mean, look, in MVCI, I still maintain that Black Widow is probably the most fun I've ever had in a fighting game with that character, and she has so many options. Do you know what I mean? So I think for me, it's the idea of, oh, I wonder if this will work. I wonder if that will work. And I suppose that's quite kind to me. But at the same time, it's definitely a little bit, yeah. Like if I'm playing the game and like maybe my favorite character's trash, then it's gonna be a bit rough. I think maybe the two things I've had is I've always more or less had a character archetype that I've enjoyed, and I've also always kind of had characters that are pretty good, to be honest with you. They're not like at least solid mid, then they're like high. Do you know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
enjoyed Morrigan. I played Phoenix, for God's sake. She-Hulk was good in vanilla. I got Doctor Strange, Hawkeye. I mean, me getting those characters at all, it was literally, I was like, oh, and Ultimate comes up, man. My favorite characters are Doctor Strange and Hawkeye, and then oh, they both came.
Yeah.
Sick. Do you know what I mean? Let me just put them in the team. Oh, they're really good characters. Oh, even better. Do you know what I mean? So it's always sort of come up Millhouse to me, like which is nice. But yeah, I hear it. For Makoto, she's quite specific. I mean, if you didn't have so what in at the start of of SF4, who did you use before
I just
Makoto?
missed like fucking boring Ryu, Cammy.
Okay,
But SF4, I was more like just bouncing around trying to find a home, but I never found a home until Super with when Makoto got launched,
okay, got you.
and
So
then it
so
was just
no
pure. Yeah.
Abel, no Abel.
I played around with Abel, but yeah, not. No, I mean, yeah, Abel fits the archetype to some degree, but I
Hmm.
guess I shouldn't say archetype. Let me be clear. I shouldn't say archetype. I should just straight up say
Character.
actual character.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Yeah, actual just the character. Yeah. Well, but
yeah.
by the way, do you have the chat open? Because man, like Espada Jerome is
I,
asking
hey,
questions. You know,
man said, can you
definitely want
buffer
to
in Sparking Z?
respond.
He's trolling already. I hear it. Function, Earthbender Mandem.
Function. What's going on?
Shouts to Swada
Yeah,
Jerome.
yeah.
What are you
Bro,
saying, man?
I, Combo Fiend is never gonna live that down when he said that. That's never going anywhere.
Yeah, yeah. He never is. He
I didn't know
never
he was
is.
working on 2XKO. He designed what's his name? Warwick.
Warwick.
Is it Warwick?
He
Warwick.
he
Yeah.
kept it
Or
quiet as
Warwick.
well. Apparently, like I said to him as well when I saw him, I was like, bro, I didn't even know. He was like, yeah, we kept it kind of low key. Not sure why
Yeah.
they did. You know what I mean? I think people would have sort of been happy to see it, but regardless,
Yeah.
like he showed up. I don't know if maybe it's like low key in terms of the industry rather than for us, because I think for us, I think we would have been like, I don't know if happy to see it would have been the right thing, but at least like it would have been pleasantly surprised. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
so Warwick is a man like Wolfley plays. What is going on? Man like
War
Waffles.
crime.
The
Wait, why
war
is he a war
criminals.
crime? What has he done?
His overhead's broken.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's other things, but that's the main thing. The overhead's
Yeah.
stupid.
Broken overhead, broken game. I hear it though.
What about Timo? Is Timo like actually the meme? Like just people can't stand him? Like what's
He's
nobody
the best
saying him?
character in the game.
Swear down. I saw your tweet. You're saying that like he's got setups for each individual character and just a madness.
Yeah, he's. I mean, the thing with him, he's Marvel Infinite. He
Damn.
at round start you do super and tag and
Yeah.
get hit.
Yeah,
Like you just can't block it. Yeah.
that stuff.
Yeah.
That
He's a cool
stuff's really
character though.
bad. Yeah.
He's the coolest character in the game, I think. But he's just he does too much.
Mm.
I think that his aesthetic is not one that I like at all. Like Wolfley knows me as well. Yeah, those types of goofy, cutesy characters. I'm like, oh, what is this shit, man? But then like I played him and I'm like, actually, his like tool set is very sick. He kind of reminds me of like Villager in Smash.
Yeah.
Like he's just sort of like building a whole bunch of shit and he's like throwing some stuff down, doing little setups. He's sort of also like in some cases, like you could say, not maybe it's wrong to say Jacko, but like just that kind of idea of just throwing shit on screen and shit, setting shit up. At least XR Jacko. I don't know about like Stripe Jacko. Stripe Jacko's. I don't even know if that's the same character. Is that the same character?
I agree. No. It's like Exod. It's like Exod Echo.
Yeah,
Age of
exactly.
Empire shit. Yeah.
Age of Empire. Exactly. That's my kind of
Yeah.
thing. I like building. I like summoning things. I like zoning. I like setting shit up. So that's all good for me, boy. It works. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, like Jerome says, those shrooms though. All right, so all right, listen.
So are we following like the list of topics? Like, because I know
Yes,
you've got like an
sir.
outline, right?
Yes, sir. So I mean, listen, might as well just get the ball rolling. So welcome one and all to the Marvel Mandem podcast inaugural
Wait,
episodes. I know technically that was like, there was one before, but we're doing it now. What are you saying, Charlie? What's happening? What's happening?
I mean, if you're gonna call us a Marvel Mandem, you obviously need some gunshot sound effects for every time you intro. I mean, I don't know if you watch the Joe Budden podcast. They got like their drops, they got their sound bites. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to open up the sound library, get us in the zone. You know what I mean? You can't
So
be like, "Welcome one and all," and our name is Marvel Mandem. When who says one and all? First of all,
so what am I gonna
next
do?
you're gonna be saying,
All
I
right,
don't know what you're gonna be saying next. You're gonna be saying, "Cheerio, lads." Like,
There you
what's
go.
happening?
there you go. That's what I'll give you.
There's something. The long distance Don DeMarco sound effect. Jeez.
I'll have to work that in. I'll have to work that. You are absolutely
Yeah.
correct. Yeah, Pip Pip Cheerio maybe ain't the right thing, but Thuggery era is long dead, so I can't really come in just what I mean, spouting the worst of stuff. So instead,
Yeah. True.
we'll lead them in. But I hear it. Let's not go on like I'm wearing a top hat right now, even though I've got a fedora around this. Somebody really don't know what I'm about, but what I'm saying. But
That's funny.
regardless, Marvel Mandem, maybe not so much Pip, not so much Cheerio, but definitely a bunch of waffle because I'm gonna be waffling. I'm gonna be talking a lot. You can't even shut me up. My name's Chrome Alchemist, for those of you who don't know, and I am joined by Earthbender Charlie.
What's going on? Greetings, salutations, blessing be upon you.
Oh, so now you want to say the salutations and blessing be upon you, but before man didn't. Alright, fair. Don't worry. We'll get
Me,
to
man,
that.
that's my vibe.
Alright, cool. So don't steal your vibe is what we're saying. Alright, no problem.
True. Truthful.
And also C4IQ, the man with the explosive intellect. How are you?
Oh, you took my tagline, innit? Now I can't say anything.
Oh shit, my bad.
Damn.
Yeah,
I took
that
it away
is
from him. Took away the thunder.
fully stolen. Storm players.
Is that what going on? I'm getting tight cast.
Aurora Monroe enjoyers.
Aurora Monroe. Listen, right now we are going to be talking about a whole bunch of shite, to be honest with you, but definitely we're talking about some Marvel Tokon because we definitely played that over the last couple of weeks at EVO France, and we also we'll be talking about maybe some 2X Go if we got some time, but there's a bunch of things we'll be talking about. I guess we can sort of start from the top, right? Shall we start from the top? Let's start from the top.
Yeah, let's do it.
No problem. So, I mean, listen, like myself, C4, both went to EVO France. We could just sort of quickly touch upon that before we get into like Tokon and actually the games and whatnot. Also, shout outs to Fraud in Progress. But C4, why don't you sound off? What did you think of your experience at EVO France, the inaugural evolution tournament series in Europe?
One problem, not enough toilets. But for me, it was the best Evo I've been to because it was round the corner and it had Tokon there.
I like it. That's
Wait, I feel like there's a story behind not enough toilets. You need to expound. Like for you to say not enough toilets must mean there was like a series of events that culminated in the fact that there was not enough toilets.
Honestly, the story was that I saw like a half-hour queue for the toilets.
Oh, okay.
That, to me, means there's just not enough toilets.
Brother,
Right.
a
Okay.
half-hour queue. Wait, did I just not pee when I was there? Wait, what's going on? Let me see. Did I
You
use those
probably
toilets?
didn't. Was it, bro? There was so many times I looked. I promise you, I was in the Marvel queue when I'll just quickly go toilet. I don't have to wait much longer. The toilet for the queue for the toilet was longer than the Marvel one, so I just
Oh
stayed
my
playing Marvel.
Listen,
Right.
do you know what? Actually, no. I remember when I did use it. I used it on finals day because and I think everyone was just crowded around the actual like the screens. So
Yep.
that's probably like why it was so empty whenever I used it. But I didn't really use it often. To be fair, you're right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I had the
Venue.
adamantium bladder.
Yeah, the venue was sick. The games were sick. Most people seem to be okay with the setups, from what I heard. But yeah, just there's not enough toilets for how many people were there. There was some periods of time where it was a long day.
Yeah. What kind of venue? Like what? Because I'm guessing like fighting games have never been done in that venue, right? So what is that venue normally used for? Like did you guys did anyone say that?
No idea. It looked like
Oh.
it looked like a FedEx storage unit.
Oh shit.
Well, sorry, where they had the games, it looked like that. The rest of the building was like, I don't know, it looked like kind of officey. They had like 3 different floors, had like a front desk and stuff. So the outside and the front desk part looked like regular business attire, and then yeah, the floor where they had all the gaming, that just looked like a warehouse.
I mean, to be honest, I like the open air part of it. I like that, like
Yeah.
the sort of glass ceiling without the actual, the metaphor. Like it was kind of cool because it's like it made things nice and bright and it was definitely all nice and wide open. Do you know what I mean? I didn't feel too cramped really. I felt like everything sort of got its space. I know a lot of people they were saying to people who was there like day one they were already dreading. They were like, oh my god, next year this is gonna have no space. Like it's gonna be even bigger and there's gonna be even less space, man. It's mad. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So me personally, I didn't. I thought it was all good. Like for like it was my first Evo, and for a first Evo experience, I thought it was fantastic. Hadn't gone to any of the others, and I had heard from many people that they liked the sort of. It felt more grassroots and more like an older Evo, maybe compared to now when it's just gotten much more expansive, and that's not for too many people. Do you know what I mean? Some people say it's more like an expo and a trade show. Others will say, whatever they're saying about it. Me, I don't know in it because I wasn't there. But I was here at this one, and I definitely enjoyed that. Do you know what I'm saying? So that was cool. The Talk line didn't take that long for us to go and play it again and again and again. And like Mace C4 will tell you, we just played it, and then after 10 minutes they booted us off. So we just queued again, and we probably did that for like an hour or two each day when we weren't commentating. So that was great.
Yep. I played too much.
Can you really play too much though?
Too much.
Can you play too much? Because do you know what it is? We were trying to we were in discovery phase, isn't it? So we were trying to be like, oh, how does that work? How does this work? And you could probably do that for just like days on end. Do you know what I'm saying?
I got a cheat code because you left. So if you queue up solo, you basically get a quick pass.
Okay, because they need to pair you with somebody. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. So you'd have to queue, and if someone else in front of you was solo, they would go through the whole queue going, you in a pair? Cool. Go back behind you. You in a pair? So you could be at the back of the queue on your own and just get fast pass to the front. So when Chrome went to touch grass, I got bare games. Bare games.
Do you know
How
what?
long was each session? Like when you sat down, how long did they let you stay?
10 minutes, wasn't it?
Yeah, 10 minutes. 10 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
So you did like multiple 10-minute sessions.
Yep.
I got 2 hours.
Shit.
Yeah, and I think
Yeah.
I just got like
So-
a little bit less.
Yeah, probably
Yeah.
like hour and 30.
So like with all the time that you both have amassed right now, like give us your current takes, like positive, negative, wishes and wants. Like what's where are you at with Tokon right now?
Take it away, C4. Go for it.
Yeah. what I want is I want them to lean into the 4v4 one health bar. I think adding something like passive abilities is a good way to do that. I didn't say this at the time. It was a afterthought. I think if you pick someone like Juggernaut in your team, for example, your team should get like a 1% defense buff. Well, I don't know about scaling. If you pick a hero and they have a hero passive, you gain like 1% more meter. I think they can make team construction more interesting because you can construct a team to enhance a specific strategy or a character. I think you can lean into that more, where when you've got 3v3s and you get rid of an element, you basically lose the assist and that's it. Like that's all that character brought. We've all made teams where it's like, oh yeah, this character I want to play that's on point works really well if I have this assist. That assist gets snapped, then you don't have that element. Where in this game, that's not a problem. You can't snap, and you don't lose characters. You lose the round, but you don't lose characters. So I think passive abilities would be pretty cool to put in the game.
I think it helps the casual as well. Like it's another thing for a casual player to latch onto, similar to Marvel Rivals, right? Because they got like the different different pairings give you different abilities, and it doesn't even need to go that deep because those aren't passives really, right? They're more like you get this when you have Rocket Raccoon and Winter Soldier on your team, whereas what you're asking for is more like just more subtle, not as explicit.
Yeah, if I really want to go the route, I'll pick 4 like defensive characters for like tanks, and I get overall 4% defense. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think that would be a pretty cool way. Or like, if you have, I don't know, smart characters have an intelligence passive where you build a bit more meter, something like that. I think that would be cool. As for the actual game, it's still faster than 2x KO. You can dash block, unlike 2x KO. So to me, it's infinitely better.
The sneak attacks have arrived.
Yeah, now 2x KO is sleep, bro. That game is trash.
All right. What about you, Chrome? What's the research saying after your journey into Tokon in France?
I'm just stunned that my man's unironically just slated and slandering to its scale, but I like the sort of difference in opinion there. That'll be a lot to unpack. That's very interesting. But all right, look. So for me, well, first of all, shout out to DC Love You. Shout out to Genius as well. Oh, shout out to Real Mike Hollow as well. Man said Nengas to speak.
Nengas.
Oh, Nengas is crazy. Hey, bro, you know
that's crazy.
You know Nengas is. All right, listen. We'll get to it. But look. To like as far as Tokon goes, yeah. So what are my thoughts after playing it? Do you know what? After playing the game again, the one thing I will say that they should end up either changing or doing something about actually is the idea of block strings just giving you generic assist extensions for block strings. So because like, don't get me wrong, obviously you can just call assist in neutral and you can still create those types of situations, especially because there are some that are a bit more delayed, so you still can kind of get those the situations going that I'm thinking of. But I do think that with the amount of tools that they're giving you defensively, that in my opinion, like to do the type of griminess of like a Marvel 3, and don't get me wrong, I'm not really trying to chase the dragon on Marvel 3 because if I did that when I first started playing this game, I probably wouldn't like it, right? If I'm like, I want Marvel 3, I probably would just dislike the game. I'm enjoying the game more or less for what they're getting, but I think based on, you know, some of the defensive tools, I think you can just give us like, you know, you're doing block strings, you call assists, and you still get normal assists. I think honestly that would be fine because at any point you can just press a couple buttons and you can just put a bunch of that either to stop or reset back to neutral. And I think that's fine. So me personally, I'm actually not a fan of it at all, to be honest with you. I'm not a fan. Especially because in this game as well, when you whiff, you can't even call assist when you whiff, right? And fine, all right, cool. So they want a more specific type of game. But I think if you're gonna do that, that's one thing. So cool. So if you leave that in, but you also just have it that you can call regular assists and still get yourself something cool other than the guy jumping in and just whacking you on block, and then them just creating like these other types of left rights, then yeah. To me, you got, you know, before like when Mace was saying, like there's no they don't want mix up, they want mix, and I was like, nah, they want it, and then I'm like, look at that, I'm like, Do they? Do they want it? Wait, what are you trying to say? Yeah, what you Nostradamus? Yeah, you saw it coming a mile away.
Bro, this is my. I do this so much. I just don't document it. I do this all the time. I did this with Krillin and Rock Assist with Krillin. Bro, Ali Yoon came at me. If I was petty, which I am, but I'm not. I'm also lazy, so I don't have to scroll back. But I told people Rock Assist is broken.
Yeah,
and then a year later, it was broken. It didn't get buffed. It was the same. It's just that people, don't have the vision.
Yeah.
Me and Daisuke are homies. Like, we both have the vision. We see things way in advance. I can tell. And I kind of disagree with you on the assisting. At first, I agreed. And then I played it. And one of the things I felt in other tag games that really hinders team construction is you have to pick an assist to continue combos.
Mm-hmm.
And I think having assists have three different. Basically, you have 3 assists with one character. You have the air version, the ground version, and the block string / hit stun version.
Yeah.
I think that's actually better because if I have an assist like Doom's Plasma and I just want to do ABC assist, ABC launch, it's going to be harder to do with his Plasma because it knocks you up.
Mm-hmm.
So I want there to be a universal assist that allows me to go to character select screen saying, oh, I can't do this extension because this assist doesn't allow me to. Every assist allows you to do an extension because they're all the same. I don't mind that type of homogenization.
So I 90% agree with you. I agree with you for everything except the block strings. I agree on the hit stun 100% because I agree like in terms of like extending combos and stuff. Don't get me wrong, that's like a creative part of these games that for lab monsters and people like yourself or myself, etc., we're gonna enjoy it, right? We can sit and train and just be like, how do we solve this puzzle? Now it's not a puzzle to solve, right? That's less fun, but fine. Do you know what I mean? In terms of playing the game, some people just want to get to the part where they're doing the thing. So cool, let them do the thing. I think the air assist, I completely agree. To me, I think so. This is another thing. So just to sort of compare it, right? So what I was saying was, if you have all of those defensive assists, why not go into that type of that type of just lean into making it a bit grimier because you've got the ability to sort of reset neutral and whatnot, right? In the air, and this is I guess sort of going into a bit of what DC Loves You in chat is saying, right? Because just to point out what he's saying there, this is quite the main thing that was a bit jarring was how air assists work. Like 1 millimeter off the ground and you get a singular air version, or after air recovery especially. So I don't mind at any point. That could be a bit jarring, but I think the great thing about that is the fact that you can make flight move the way that it moves, because at any point someone could jump up in the sky, call an assist, and they can get something to deal with you. And it's not going to be like a MODOK or whatever type of situation where you just completely gated out because you don't have the right assist for the right job. So I don't mind that homogenization. I think that's great. For me, it's more about like just create that type of grimy mix-up situation that at any point, if someone feels like nervous, they can just say, boom, hit a couple buttons, and then we either reset to neutral or like they get a type of advantage. You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm like, let's move, let's more look at that. And to be honest, based on the way that we, when we play with the producers, the way that they were playing against us, I kind of felt like they'd be happy with doing something like that. Do you know what I mean? Like when they played against I forget his name now, unfortunately, right? I should actually look that up. But it was, once he sort of saw that, okay, this guy can play fighting games, he was like, cool. He started to do like some Spider-Man Oki and all this other bullshit. He was like playing proper. Do you know what I mean? So if these guys want to play proper games, let's play proper games, innit? Like release the shackles, release me.
Putting someone in block stun and mixing them up is not proper games.
It's proper games,
so you know that.
It's great games.
It's not proper games.
That's fantastic games. That's absolutely playable.
The philosophy difference is rearing its ugly head right here. This is the line in the sand that's being drawn.
Is what Chrome's saying benefits me. I would love to put you in block stun and do stalking flare with Quill Gun. I would love to do that. I just don't think it's interesting. I like doing it neutral. I think that's more interesting. Watching someone navigate around it makes me go, oh, you're sick. Someone block it makes me think, oh, you're lucky. Good for you. All right, yeah. But I get what you mean. For a spectator, it's probably more interesting. For me, I Odin sleep. I just snooze for eternity. I just doesn't impress me.
But wouldn't blocking it be another form of navigating around it?
Nope, you're guessing. It's a 50-50, right?
You can remove that though
Yeah,
with the I forget the name of the defensive the move now. In fact, this
Alpha
is
counter.
very. Let's just call it alpha
Yeah.
counter, man. This is all
Yeah, it's
very
called Alpha counter.
yeah.
very unprofessional right now. But anyway, yeah, like alpha counter, like just
Assemble counter. There you go.
Yeah.
whatever. Nah, alpha counter, man. Fuck it. Like yeah. So
Yeah.
alpha counter.
A for alpha, not assemble.
Oh yeah, there you go. Exactly. The assemble alpha assemble look like alpha, yeah, just like alpha counter,
Alpha,
yeah. So to friggin' to do that, yeah, is just a couple buttons and then what you use some of the meter and then boom, either you get reset to neutral or what they try and the other person who can counter that too. So it's like if you've got
What I
that in
found out
there,
real quick down on that. What I found out speaking to one of the guys. I don't know if they added this. I should have asked, but he said if you put me in a block string, right, and I alpha counter and you get a perfect one back, I lose all my assembly gauge.
oh shit, did not. I think they might have added that. That's crazy. That's a big risk reward then in that kind of in that regard.
And that's bad. I should not lose all my meter.
I thought you just can't assist. I thought you just can't assist temporarily, or is that what it used to be?
So what it used to be is that because you used one of your assists to do the alpha counter, that means that you can't. Yeah, it basically goes on cooldown. But if I'm remembering correctly, he said if someone perfects like counters your alpha counter, you lose your assembly gauge. And I didn't at the time. I was too. I told you I was a sycophant. I was like, I just want to play the game. You can talk. You can say anything to me. I don't care. You could have called me a N.K.A, and I would have been, yep, cool. Let me just play the game. Right? But when I thought about it, I was like, why is the defender losing in this situation? That doesn't make any sense.
Agree.
That seems pretty bad. So yeah.
Yeah,
sorry,
I'm not sure about that one either, to be honest with you. Like, and I think that must have been I'll go look back at the older tapes, but I think that must have been a recent change because I don't remember people even mentioning that one. I didn't notice it personally, but that is a bit mad personally. Like to say that, yeah, again, right? Like, sure, you're being reset to neutral, sort of, right? So you could say, oh, well, you know, what matters is you're reset to neutral and you get another chance to play. But they're removing those types of valuable resources. Resource management is like a massive part of any of these games, right? Fighting games in general, but like these games also, especially because if your resources aren't going to be the character health bars, then they're going to be things like the assembly gauge. So that's pretty big. I don't know. I agree, man. I don't really agree with that.
I have a question. Do you think this could be potentially fixed if they allow you to counter the alpha countered counter?
Yep.
Really? Okay. So it will be rather than a max of 3, it will be like you can end it with a fourth one so that the defender who originally defended can defend again by countering the counter.
Yeah, this
or
is
countering
funny
the counter.
I was talking about this concept on Mike's channel the other day with the Spark and Zero thing when he was talking about the Vanish Wars. If this situation happens and we've both got 3 assembly bars, Chrome's attacking me and I use my first assembly. No, sorry. Chrome's going to put me in a mix-up, which means he needs to use his first assembly gauge. To call an assist in block stun, that takes one of your assembly gauges. If I use one to counter, so we both on 2, he can use one to counter my counter, and it's so on and so forth. But the mind game that I think is interesting is when I initiate the first counter, I can look at the bar situation and go, I'm not looking good on winning this situation because Chrome's got more meter than me. So as long as Chrome's got the reactions, he's going to come up on top. So I can decide to take the first perfect counter and go, you know what? At least I'm not getting mixed. I can do that. Or I can fight him on the game of, I don't know, reactions to see who goes the distance. I think that concept's good because it wouldn't be more than 4. I think you can only get 4 assembly gauges if you get your whole squad. So I'm cool with that.
I can agree with that too. Yeah, I think that's fine. I think that's fine. Like but yeah, that does seem like a recent change. That not too sure, but I mean, listen, those are at least like changes they're making. That before, I remember yourself and I, we were like, man, they ain't changing nothing in this game. This game's coming out like what we're seeing right now is what we're getting, or do you know what I mean? Yeah. So fair, isn't it? They're actually adding some things. I mean, another thing they changed, right? At least that we felt like we noticed was bigger screen, right?
Oh, the stage, the jungle, was it the Savage Land stage?
So there's a few things. It's also like the actual size, like the zoom on the actual screen itself. It feels like it's all wider, a little bit wider out.
So did anyone talk to like why is that Because that Savage Land has what, like 5 screens, right? Is it 5?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
so
It's got like one
what's
in the
going on
middle,
with
2 on
that?
either sides.
What, so why do we have inconsistent stages? Like, what did they talk about that?
It's just, I guess it's the same as like Tekken. Variety on the variety of maps.
Yeah, but do you
But
know what? Like,
isn't there more of a gameplay implication with like I know Tekken does have like some maps with walls and some without walls, right, and stuff, which plays into the gameplay. But I feel like this is more egregious because it's more intertwined with the actual mechanics,
I
right?
agree.
Like getting your characters sooner or earlier, or like and how that relates to the wall or kicking them through the wall is it just seems like a bit weirder of a decision considering how intertwined it is with the systems.
Uh,
I personally very much agree with that, and I do think it's a massive implication. I think 5 is a bit too wacky, to be honest with you. I think to be in the
Mm.
middle there and then to have to sort of navigate that far, I think they're trying to sort of have the option for people to not get cornered. Really, they're trying to avoid this corner. But look, they've been doing it since Strive, right? Like they've been trying to avoid the wall as much as they can, and now they're trying to do it even more. And I think don't get me wrong, the once you get to the wall in Tokon, it's actually really strong because of the fact of what you're saying, right? So the implications of gaining those characters and resources, you can do that even more so once you hit the wall, because just them tapping the wall, you get your character. So once they tap the wall and then they get off of it and you make them tap the wall again, then you could be getting yourself 2 characters like just like that in a blink of an eye. So and also now it's not resetting back to neutral like they want. So I would say that the variety thing again, right? This is very similar to what I said initially. FGC, I think, used to look down upon these types of concepts that were in licensed anime games, which used to have stage transitions and all of these other types of things, right? I would even say the fighting games that have stage transitions, like Dead or Alive and whatnot. I'm not to even necessarily say if that was the entire reason why they weren't taken so seriously, but definitely it was a reason why like people were sort of apprehensive or side-eyed when they went into those types of games because they weren't as typical as they used to. Now you're getting this type of situation where you've got a variety of stages where you've got one where it's like free one where it's like 3 stages, stage portions, one where it's 5. I mean, we're gonna get one where it's like just one, do you know what I mean? And now it's just like straight walls and
Infinite.
walls.
And then, and not to mention how the stages with like an infinite one or with 5 or more has more transitions, which affects the pacing of the game even more as well. Because it's just like that's something that needs to be addressed. Like I think because I was actually watching someone play Dead or Alive recently. I was watching like I think it was Max actually. I was watching Max play Dead or Alive free. And it reminded me how fast the transitions are in that game. It's just you get hit through even the big ones where you hit them through the glass and then they fall through the lights in the street lights and then you start fighting in the street. Like that transition is quite fast considering all of the animation that plays out. But it doesn't ruin the pace of the game. So either they need to speed up the transitions or they need to. I mean, they definitely need to do something about the transitions. I'm not sure where you guys fall on that now that you've played it a bit more. Like, did getting more playtime on it feel like? Did you feel like the transitions were affecting the pace of the game more or less or the same?
uh, I still have the same sentiment that yeah, the transitions they could cut it maybe in half.
Yeah.
I think it is a bit. There's a lot of tumbling. It doesn't need to tumble that
Yeah,
much. Just
A lot of
tumbling.
tumbling.
there's a lot of tumbling. Just hit them through hit them out of the stage. Puff of
Yeah,
smoke. The smoke reveals that you're in the next stage.
yeah.
There's a lot of fucking stuff. Yeah,
I
it gets
think
boring real quick.
my designer brain. So I'm gonna kick in my designer brain. I reckon, and I actually think there's a decent chance that they will take this out or just swallow their pride and change it. I think that they're currently dead set on the little comic book animation
Hmm.
imagery between when you kick them through and then you get like the little comic
Hmm.
strip that appears and you see the boom pow and then like I think they're dead set on keeping that because it's Marvel and it's comics, right? But I
Agreed.
think I think like this is something where somebody would have like some kind of designer meeting and we'd be like, guys, we need to look at the pacing of the transitions. Somebody will have to be like, we have to cut that. We have to cut it out. Just the same thing can happen. You hit them through, but you just don't see the comic thing. It's just more snappy. But then somebody on the other side would be like, no, we need to keep it. And then that will be an eternal battle forged in the flames of Mordor and it will just never end until the game just comes out and then nothing's changed. So we'll have
Uh,
to see.
yeah, I think maybe they can code it so like the first the first wall break, you get the animation. Then wall breaks after that, you don't. You don't get the whole thing. You get the comic strip. You get all the debris from the scaffolding that fell on you, and then bang, just you're in the next panel. Straight to the next panel. Like, I agree. I disagree with the concern about the stages, but yeah, for the transitions, I think it is too much. It is way too much.
It's it's funny. I'm like one of the few people who doesn't feel like it's that bad, but I've already accepted that like it's so overwhelmingly to one side. And me personally, I don't have an issue really with it being shorter. That like if it's made shorter, it's made shorter. But I agree that I think the comic book aesthetic is like they're so enamored with that they're willing to sort of make sure that we see the sort of the beauty of this game in terms of its design and aesthetic, and of which it is really really nice. Do you know what I'm saying? But I think the game looks nice in general all over. So I don't think it really hinges on that being as long as it is for it to look that good. But yeah, I don't know. I actually don't. I don't think it's that bad, but it is what it is.
Infinoko just said they timed them, and they're 3 seconds long, give or take.
3 seconds long. So what? You shave off a second. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Shout out to
it sounds
Infinoko
insignificant, but when you start adding them up,
exactly. Yeah, 1 million.
Yeah. It's if you think about it, that's 3 seconds extra to every throw near the corner.
Yeah.
And
because the throw gives you the wall break.
True. And also, I mean, it's all those seconds matter when it comes to like tournaments and streams and all the rest of that. I mean, this game is gonna be at least for a good minute, like 2 out of 3, right? And then maybe if it gets absolutely brutal, they'll make it 3 out of 5. But I don't see it happening. I think this game is just gonna be a 2 out of 3 game.
I mean, and it's already 3 rounds as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, that is a lot of 3 seconds that you add up. Like you're probably gonna get, I think on average, you're probably gonna get 3 to 4 per round, because that's gonna be people trying to assemble their team. If I get 2 and Crone gets 2 wall breaks, we've still not got our whole team, and that's what 3, 6, 9, 12 seconds.
Yeah. No, that is true. You are right. So definitely in terms of the way that this is, that's probably the first thing that can be at least shaped. I don't think it needs to necessarily be like completely like eliminated, but I think maybe shaved down by a second, and I think people would be more or less happy. Maybe there'll be some people who just want it to be gone entirely, but that's clearly the soul of the game. Like
it's not going. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. 2 seconds. I'm cool with 2 seconds.
Yeah. No, 100%. So,
but stages, I hope they make a Danger Room stage where it's infinite wall breaks.
I think they are. I think they're gonna do it, man. I think they're gonna do it. Do you know what? Honestly, for me, right, despite what I just said about this thing is a bit too wacky and like, because bro, like, listen, I played like Naruto, Geto Ninja Tyson games in it, and like those are some of my favorite fighting games of all time. Are like licensed anime games, yeah. But
is that the GameCube one?
The GameCube one, exactly. And that one didn't have exactly. That one didn't have stage transitions, but the Wii version did have stage transitions, yeah. And they were long. They were long. I think I've got some friends maybe in chat who I used to play them with, and they will tell you that they were long. Like they were like 5 seconds, like 6 seconds, and like because they were kind of like TACs in a way where you had to, someone could press a button and then you had to like counter that, and you could either dodge or you could, do you know what I mean, or you get hit. So because it was that baked in, it just made it that much longer, which is a problem. So yeah, like it can definitely get quite long, but I think I think we can probably share that down. So I mean, we're all in agreement of that at the very least. That's cool. That's cool. So what about
what other aspects? Oh no, you're gone. No, you've got a list, right? So I don't want to like.
No. We're both looking at the same thing, bro. We're both looking at the same thing. Because if you got anything to chime in with, feel free, bro. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was just gonna ask like, what are some what are some of your disagreements that the two of you have between each other based on what you played? Like main,
I guess the screen transition. I think platform games have been doing it. Stages are always different than that. Like I said, Tekken, you get ground. You can break the ground in certain stages.
Yeah.
To me, I don't see if we make, say, Perfect World, every transition was 1 second. The fact that you have some stages with 5 wall breaks and some with 2, I don't understand, other than it not being traditional, why that would be an issue. Like Strive, there is no walls. You always wall break. There's no true walls in that game. So yeah, I don't know why there's like apprehension to why they would do that, make variable stages.
Yeah, I mean, listen, like I said, in it, despite what I just said before about the fact that I was opposed to them making more. If you've done that, then yeah, I kind of agree that you might as well just lean into it now and just give us a variety because you've already given us the the cork's already that's already been uncorked. You know what I mean? Pandora's box has been opened. You might as well just go whole hog and just do the thing. You know what I'm saying? So I don't even disagree with that one. But yeah, like yeah, how are you doing it? Give us an infinite, give us a single stage one as well, where there's just where it's just straight walls and maybe no breaks. But I don't know if they will do that. They'll probably just go infinite. They'll probably go 3-5 and infinite, like you're saying, and that probably make the most sense.
I reckon they'll do, because it's artists, they'll do something where like the left hand side just doesn't break, but the right hand side always does, something like that. I reckon they'll do that. And,
So I guess, sorry to cut, but so I'm just,
go.
just thinking out loud. Like my question is, in terms of like exploring if different length stages affects the game or matters or not. I'm wondering like what, and I'm sure this happens in Tekken. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but what then happens if like you're in a tournament and then you're doing random stage select and like let's say a scenario plays out that only could have played out because of the stage that it was in? Wouldn't you run into these weird situations where it's like that feels unfair because of the stage that we were in, whereas in most fighting games like that's not really a thing, at least in most 2D fighting games, like that's not really a thing you have to worry about, like the actual stage that you're in and how that can manipulate certain interactions.
Mike was in chat. Mike plays a lot of Tekken. From my understanding, it is skill issue. Same with platform fighters. When you get different stages with certain ledges, and it's like, yeah, my character doesn't work. My character is a bit weaker because there's ledges in the games, or my character's stronger because there's ledges in the games. And yeah, I think random select on a stage should be done in Tekken because it's 1v1. I think random select stages should be done before the character selects. But I just get the game's not coded that way, right? You pick your character, then you pick the stage. Every game's like that.
Yeah.
In Tokon, if I've got my squad and I see a stage and I've not got onto the stage, that's a me problem. My team is not well constructed. If all my characters don't do well on that stage, that's a skill issue.
So I like when it comes to Smash in it, because I play a lot of Smash like over the years. You counter pick with stages as well as characters, right? And there's like different rules that can be applied to that. There can be a thing where you can either just stage counter pick or you can character counter pick, or you know what I mean. So it's very possible that that's gonna have to be something that gets factored in. That's not something that maybe traditional FGC is as used to. Tekken 3D fighters will be used to it because of the fact that like they'll be like, oh, he's got an infinite stage. You know what I'm saying? Because maybe there was the situation where he wasn't able to create enough space like between him and character and their opponent, so they're gonna go infinite. Obviously Harada is trying to put that to a stop because no stages in Tekken are truly infinite, but regardless, like that variety of stages, or even like okay, we've got floor breaks, so now I can actually hit my max damage combos. All those things are gonna be sort of things that other games have had to factor in, and will also have to factor in when you've gone down in the first match. Like, are you going to counter pick with a stage, or are you just going to counter pick with your characters? And what are the rule sets going to be based on that? Like, we'll just have to sort of figure out, and I guess we'll just have to be mature about it. Do you know what I'm saying?
I will say, just so it doesn't sound like I'm poo-pooing Charlie away.
Nah, poo-poo it, bro.
You know when when we were talking about
PCs.
We were talking about before the podcast, we were talking about the ABC nature of the game, right? The ABC launch, everyone can do that. I feel that a good way to justify having homogenized combos is because it gives you time to think about stuff like that. So if I'm on a stage and I hit you with a ABC, I've got a B&B that I can do that every character that doesn't require me to use my brain for that. I could use my brain for, do I need to side swap so I can keep him in the corner, or do I want to assemble my team and break the wall on the right-hand side? I think when you've got an implemented simple attack sequence like that, it's okay to make everything around the game more complex. I think if this was in something like like KOF, where you need every hit it needs your full attention because you might have to do tap super. In a game like that, where your mind is so focused on the execution of the combo, it would be bizarre to have the whole stage concept in that. But I think in the game where you can just do literally close your eyes and dial in the combo to give the player at a high level something to think about. Things like stages are a good way to keep your brain occupied if you want to think.
Yeah. No, I think that's a fine counter. I think as long as players are, well, I guess they have to be willing to mess with that, because that's how the game's designed. So yeah, I think it's not like the end of the world. It's not like I'm sure there'll be some people that complain like, oh yeah, this wouldn't have happened if the random select chose this stage instead of that stage. But I think A, that will happen very few and far in between, and B, it's not too much of an ask to ask the player to, like you said, skill issue, right? Like it's not too much of an ask to ask somebody to adapt to that. So I think it's a fine counter.
I do think that is literally happening with Is it Go Sane in Tekken? Literally like last 2 days. Apparently he hit a B&B with Law, I think, and it didn't happen the way it always does. And people in the chat have been saying like, well, if I was playing, I would have done this counter. This combo. And he's just flaming everyone, saying you wouldn't have got to this level to do this. But he's saying he did the right thing, even though the combo dropped, because of something to do with the stage. So what you're just saying is the first time I've ever heard it, and it happened like 2 days ago. I might find a link for you to find it, because I haven't seen the match. I've just seen him like talking about it, saying like, you guys don't know what you're talking about. I did the right thing, but apparently it didn't work. So I don't know how right it was.
Yeah.
So
I think
very... Oh, yeah, go on. Yeah.
No, you go.
No, I just it's also, honestly, it's also just a possibility that we just go down the route of somewhere you just have legal and illegal stages, or not even illegal and illegal, but just ones that people sort of have a sort of gentleman's agreement that we're just going to pick the stage and we're just going to ignore the others.
I think that's a worst case scenario. I think that's what we don't want. That just complicates things way too much, because you got like what, blind character select and now blind stage select or something. That will be. I think if you're gonna have that, if the stages vary, it just has to be embraced. And I think going back to what C4 was saying, like, it's one of those things where it exists in other games, sure, more so 3D games, but it's not too much to take that concept from 3D games and have it in a 2D game, so long as it's not like doesn't require that much brain power. And I don't think it does. I think, like C4 was saying, like the combo rhythm is slow enough that you can analyze the situation while you're getting mash up, and then or while you're mashing somebody else up, and then adjust accordingly, right? If now the implications, or if the mechanics behind the wall break was really complicated and led to big implications, then I'd be more like apprehensive. But because it's not that difficult to perform or to get one's head around, I actually think it's fine, now that I think a bit more about it.
I will say for casuals, there is going to be a learning. Well, maybe not a learning, a sort of subconscious recognition of, oh, I see a dinosaur. That's the Savage Lands. That means the walls break more often, at least. Like there's going to be that kind of concept, which, for casuals, it could be a bit frustrating because they won't understand, like, oh, I don't know why I didn't get a wall break here.
Yeah. I agree with that.
True.
Honestly, though, I feel like Savage Land are the ones that have more transitions, or infinite transitions are the one that's going to make the most sense to them. They're like, okay, I get hit against the wall, I get reset back into neutral, I get another character, like that person gets a character, right? I think that just makes the most sense. And when they start hitting walls, I think it's like, I think it's more just when they hit the walls, it's like, like, what the hell? Do you know what I mean? Do I have to hit more? Like, do I have to hit more in order to go through it or something? And then when it doesn't happen,
thing, innit?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And see, Wolfrey's saying, bans, right? Also, shout out to Ducky this. Wolfrey Blizzard said, bans. And see, obviously, our exposure to it, like myself and him, is like Smash, right? And Smash, obviously, Smash community is its kind of own unique ecosystem in it, to put it nicely. But like them, man, like Fox only Final Destination was a meme, but for a while, like that man, you know what I mean? They just run up like the 1 or 2 stages, and I would say that in this game, what you're saying is kind of true in the sense of, it could be quote unquote more egregious because of the fact that it gives you resources for breaking walls and whatnot. And I can agree, but obviously, it's just as severe an impact in something like Smash, and that game had like a whole bunch of stages and only a handful really used. So it's interesting. I think it's worth like actually bringing up now because of the fact that we've now seen this. You know what I mean? Because who knows how this is going to sort of end up, and who knows what else they're going to give us. If they do give us the infinite, maybe people will just say, "Man, it just go infinite." You know what I mean? Go infinite.
I think another thing that
Mm.
is worth maybe mentioning is that like I don't know if you guys disagree, but I think another reason why it might not be too much of a problem is because no matter what stage you're on, like there will come a time in the match where you all have your characters, and the notion of like the issue of one stage being shorter or longer doesn't is not going to matter as much because by round two or round three you have your team anyway, right? So, but I acknowledge that it's going to matter more depending on who gets the characters first and who has more of an upper hand in that regard. But there will come a point in the fight where the playing field is even, so the stage being an issue will no longer be as much of a factor. Or am I looking at that incorrectly?
Uh, I'm. It sounds like I'm just being a contrarian, but I promise
Right.
you, I'm not. So when me and Chrome played, there was a lot of matches that I won where I only had Kamala and Quill. I actually did not wall break
Yeah.
because I
Mm.
didn't want him to go back to neutral. I wanted him to stay in the corner, so I didn't break the
Mm.
wall.
Yeah.
I think at top level, that strategy is going to be not very good because then I always had less assembly gauge than Chrome. So
They
the
kind of
whole
attempted that in Strive though, right? Like remember at the start of Strive, people were like, okay, how do we avoid that
yeah,
entirely, right?
yeah,
And not try
yeah.
and like
And some
engage
characters still
that.
do that.
Mm.
Eno won't break the wall. She'll just go for the mix. Happy Chaos sometimes does it. But the thing is, I think the benefit in Strive is always good because you always get positive bonus. You can always use more meter. But what uh, Charlie's saying is, well, when you've got all your characters, then breaking the wall has no benefit. It's actually a detriment. If I've got all my characters and I break the wall, I've put you in neutral. Why would I want
Yeah.
to do that if I don't get an extra character? It doesn't make any sense. So yeah, what Charlie's saying is that there's going to be a point where breaking the wall isn't good for the person who's got all the resources. I was saying like my strategy was that I never broke the wall because my mix with Stalking Flare and Kamala only needs those two characters. I don't need any other characters. But I also lose out on, I don't know, chaotic neutral by calling random assist to cover the screen. I don't have a DP assist because I don't have my second slot. So if you jump in on me, I have the anti-air or block. I can't call an assist to alleviate that. And my combo extensions are shorter because you can keep calling assists in your combos, but I've only got one character. So I think it does depend if there's like a really strong duo that can just bypass having to have all these resources. I doubt it, but yeah, there might be a case that you don't want to break the wall. It's a slim one, but there might be a case that you don't want it, and you're
Yeah.
not guaranteed to get all of the characters because, like I said, when I played Chrome, I didn't get all my characters. I didn't get any characters, and I could still win just because I could just run the flowchart of high low Kamala with Stalking Flare behind it. You can't punish me.
Nah,
Woofley said,
100%.
"Do you have more control over your ability to break the wall in this game compared to Strive?"
I think you got less control.
I think you got less control as well. I think you
Yeah,
as soon as you do the right combo, like and they are flying towards that wall, they're going through that wall. It's not like when you hit the wall
yeah.
and then you've got to then continue the combo and then make that conscious decision. It's more like if they're going towards it, they're going for it. Do you know what I mean? Also, shout outs
So
to Broski there who's saying the latest build gave an assemble stock when you break the wall. Yeah, that's something was mentioned before. But yeah, exactly right. So
I would say the lack of control is from throws because sometimes I would do a throw sort of like mid screen and it would break the wall and I'd be like I was kind of far away from the wall. Uh, I think the control is that every character has a move that breaks the wall.
mhm.
So with Star Lord, it's the sliding attack where he throws out the guns. As long as I don't end my combo with that, I won't break the wall. Or as long as I don't do the super with the normal gun, I don't break the wall. So I can super. That's why I used to super with ice. So when you have the ice gun and you do the super, it ends with the freeze, which doesn't break the wall. That's
Mm.
why I did that. But if I change to a different bullet, I could break the wall. So you do have control. It's I think just with throws and the specials, it's very hard to judge how close you are to the wall to break it. You don't have to be right up against the wall to break the wall with like a throw or something. You can be away from it and it still happens.
No, 100%. And actually, no. Also, I'm lying on your good name, broski. We didn't mention that. We was talking about assemble gauge when in the defensive and the alpha counters, actually, not in terms of wall break. So yeah, thank you for bringing that one up. Yeah, it's definitely so clearly like if that's the case in the latest build, like they're just trying to make this even stronger. Then they're trying to make the stage transitions even more sort of fruitful, right? By
Hmm.
giving you assemble stock as well as just letting you fly straight through them, and then they're also giving you more just like chances to do that. Just in general, and they're just trying to extend neutral as much as possible, basically, or the center of the screen. Trying to give you the center of the screen as much as possible.
Yeah, they want you to have 4 characters as well. When I spoke to them, they said, yeah, they want everyone. They want the experience of the match to be, I'm calling my friends to help me. That's what they were saying. Like they want it by like round 3 that you've got all your characters, and then you can play like the full breadth of the game with 1 character on point and 3 assists for both people.
It's
So
also
they,
part of the
they
stage transition the actual designer stage transition, right? In terms of the aesthetic, because you see them flash at the bottom of the screen, right? It says I'm ready, like that kind of stuff.
That's why I
yeah,
think the messaging, like when they first showed the game, like the beginner tutorial video, and they were talking about how you can play how you like, you can assemble your team, or you can focus on one or two. I think somewhere down the line there was perhaps a miscommunication between different parts of the development team, because there was one producer, important kind of guy that did say that, whereas now it seems like you guys are saying no, actually they want you to build a team. So it's like, which one is it? Like, you need to talk to your mans and them on the team, because some men are like sending out the wrong message, you know?
there's too many cooks. It's what Sony,
Yeah.
Arxis,
Yeah, it's too many
and
cooks. Yeah.
who is it? Sony, Arxis, and there's another team in it.
Or Bamco,
PlayStation.
I can't remember.
Sony Arxis,
Sony,
Bamco.
Wait, I thought Namco hasn't.
oh,
Oh wait, no,
Do
no,
they
no,
have
no.
something
Sony,
to do with it?
Nah, yeah, no,
yeah,
I don't think they
Sony,
are. So it
Sony,
just
Marvel, and Arxis.
Marvel,
Yeah, there's
Marvel, yeah,
three. There's
Marvel
3 divisions.
Arxis. My bad, Marvel
Oh yeah, there
Arxis.
you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
no, no,
so
for sure.
yeah, that makes sense why there's a bit of communication. But maybe that was back then. Maybe now they've come together in the meeting room. They're like, actually, okay, guys, from here on out, 4v4. Don't be saying nothing about this. Ain't 2SKO. Don't talk about no single player. 2v2. Like, no, it's 4v4.
For a scale,
Yeah,
baby. Nah. Fair enough. I
Yeah.
mean, listen, I think in terms of because obviously I think we touched upon a good portion of that, and we actually got a lot out there. Actually, we covered a good amount. Like in terms of like what the screen size, I was saying, and I think C4 was also saying as well that they probably just made the screen like wider, is in more zoomed because of the fact that
Mhm.
Ghost Rider's now in the game. And maybe before they were like, maybe Ghost Rider's just like peppering people a bit too much. Let's stretch this out just a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
yeah, you could be right. He was, yeah, that character's sick. The character's very sick.
Talk to me, man. Talk to me. God, let me hear it. Let me hear it. That's your boy. Yeah.
All right, I have to do this on the way for the school run, innit? I'll do
Oh
it.
shoot.
You go
Yeah.
first.
All right. Yeah.
I
Yes.
can talk while I'm.
Okay. No problem. No problem. So yeah, I think in terms of that character, yeah, I think he's sick. Obviously, the comparisons that people have been making was what, like, I think Robo Kai was one. Um, but just generally in terms of his gauge, right, and that rev gauge, I think at first it looks like, okay, so um when you first go in and you're like, okay, all of these moves that you're doing increase the rev gauge, and then as the levels increase, you've got yourself either the moves go on for longer, or they have some types of new properties to them, or all those other types of things, all the way up to level 3. And then once you start to go past the point in level 3, like they just it keeps going up until you bring it down. And I was like, okay, so what? So bringing it down, you might just have to maybe press, maybe this one move brings it down, or you just have to not use the moves. But thankfully, it seems like everything on the unique attacks button thing like brings down that gauge. So I think he's going to be a character where it looks like you have to really manage his like subsystem. And I just think in general he just feels like a very sick character to play in terms of like the range you can sort of play at. Um, some of the moves he has, like him having that pizza cutter in the air, like the sort of way he just swings a chain where you just hold the button down and it sort of changes. It carries the momentum of wherever it is that you're jumping. Um, I think all of those things are like sick, and I think that character is designed very, very interestingly. I think he's very fun. I think it's the best version of Ghost Rider that I've seen personally.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
In terms of like damn near everything. Like he's got himself the command grab as well, if I remember correctly. He's got the sort of
Yep.
the wreckers. He's got the what else did he have? Oh yeah, he sort of has that sort of not a proper left right like an actual proper character would do, but he's got those moves that kind of jump from place to place that sort of has him be a little bit tricky. That he can sort of maybe do pseudo like left right mix ups and stuff. Like he seems like he's a lot more complete and robust than he was in those previous games, or at the very least, I'll say that in those previous games he was very close to being a sick character, but he missed either one or two things that the game's meta kind of relied on. And now, obviously, we don't know the meta of this game, but he just feels a lot more like just cleanly made. It seems like everything that this game seems to rely on and play around, he seems to have access to, which is great.
Yeah, I would say they haven't just banished him to you keep people away. Like that's why I think he's more interested now. He's got ways to he like so one of the things that Chrome was talking about, he's got like it's called something cradle, I don't know, infernal cradle, where he basically swings his chain at you, but he's got follow-up attacks, and one of the follow-up attacks is a dash. So he can just dash to you. Or he can do a high or a low. So they've made it so it's like, yeah, you can poke from far range, but you can use your far range to get in. Hence why he's probably got a command grab, right? I think that's way more interesting. As the zoner, I'm saying this as well. As a zoner, it's more interesting to make your opponent scared that you can go in than to only keep them out.
Agree.
And he's got free carpet. It's dousing minus a teleport, but instead of a teleport, he's got I can get in your face. I've got pizza car, so I can cross you up. Don't think I can't. I've got a command grab. I've got stuff to open you up as well as keep you away from me. It feels balanced. So he doesn't feel super strong at far range. So he's got like Axel from Guilty Gear normals, where this hits the top of the screen, but in a very narrow angle. So it can whip. You have to be good. You can't just throw this normal out. Where I think old Ghost Rider was like that. Old Ghost Rider was like, I'm throwing this out, but because you're so far away, even if I miss, I'm just going to call an assist to cover me. Yeah. He doesn't feel like that anymore. He feels like very precise. Like this button is purposely designed to hit you here. I need to be good enough to get the timing. If I don't, I'm going to get blown up. Which, yeah, I think it's a good balance of like zoning and rushdown. And screen pollution as well. With the flame carpet summon is actually so sick. I think that's the best move he's got. Being able to put flame carpet full screen at you to make you have to move is so genius.
No, 100%. I think his tool set just feels very, very fun, very fun. Again, it's like it seems like with some of these characters, they're taking inspiration from their existing sort of Arxis toolbox, but they're also taking inspiration or they're looking at these characters that already exist, and rather than sort of ignoring them completely, they're just saying, well, how do you make this character either different or more interesting, right? It feels like with these two characters, like both Ghost Rider and Spider-Man, they found ways to either just make what they were doing before feel even more fun, or they said, let's just put like a little twist on them. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think that's they've done a good job, man. Like I said, I was very happy with what I tried out. Obviously, we even though we were doing the sort of the 10-minute merry-go-rounds like constantly, we still did find a decent amount, right, in terms of how the rev meter works and all the rest of those types of things. So it was definitely really, really cool. And I think with Spider-Man as well. Actually, wait, is there anything else you want to say with Ghost Rider? I mean, we could sort of just bounce between the two. It doesn't really matter, but anything else you want to say about Ghost Rider, C4?
No, I think you touched upon it. I'll say the rev meter is super interesting. When I was talking to Charlie before we started, it was kind of like the Sentry idea, but it's a bit more intricate, where it is actually more like Nagoriyuki, where it's like at level 1, you might just want to keep it at level 1, or you might want to just keep it at level 2, but then you have to sequence your attacks. So like Chrome was saying, unique attacks bring it down, command grab brings it down, supers, I think, just clean it. But in doing that, you give your ability to spam more moves, where when it's at a high level, you can't spam it because you've got to be careful of like over revving, because you go into like a Frank West when he drinks too much, when he gets crunked and he starts puking up. You go into a state like that so you can get hit. But your moves are more powerful.
the moves do more damage when you're like higher rev. So it's a good like balancing act that you have to play to make him which makes him more interesting in my opinion.
Nah, 100%. I think definitely the management part of it I think is what makes him seem pretty fun. But I think that they're actually very, very generous though with the way that like they're allowing him to manage it, because it's like any use of that unique button like just brings down that gauge, and it brings it down pretty quickly. And like you said before, right? Like this isn't necessarily a character where it's like, oh, I can just go and start whiffing everything and it's not a problem, right? But I think that there are situations that you can create where you can start whiffing moves, or just honestly start throwing out moves to on block at a distance, and still manage to get that meter down pretty quickly. Do you know what I mean? But obviously it's kind of that idea where you want to be in that sweet spot of maybe level 2, start of level 3, where you can just get the moves being at their best and then bringing it all the way back down again. Because if you do, like I said before, and that you bring it up too far, it goes to not a point of no return, but it will naturally just gravitate towards like overheating. And then after that, you've got to just consciously do something about bringing it down yourself. Do you know what I'm saying? Oh shit! I like that Tsukiyomi with the sauce. Thank you very, very much, brother. That's a listen, long term friend of mine, man. Like known you for like he's family. I don't even know why I said friend, bro. Like literally, like family in a way that's not even exaggerated. You know what I'm saying? Like known him damn near all my life. So shout out to Tsukiyomi now, man. Say for that. Appreciate the sub.
To you.
Yeah. So yeah. No, for sure. It's yeah, so definitely that character feels fun. And as far as friggin' Spider-Man goes, yeah, like Spider-Man, it literally just feels like if you enjoyed playing Spider-Man in the Marvel games previously, then I would assume that you would also enjoy playing this Spider-Man too. Like he feels like a very tricky character, a very like the way like they basically took web zip and they sort of just like Mugen-fied it. Because it's literally just like, oh, like, okay, so before you could maybe do a special move cancelled into web zip, but now it's like, oh, you can do web zip into web zip into web zip in a way. Do you know what I'm saying? You could cancel the startups of your web zips where you can be quite unpredictable in terms of where you're gonna land, and you could in the middle of those things you could cancel into special moves. You could do these other types of things to make you very, very tricky and very unpredictable in terms of if you want to just throw out like a 2H or something like that to try and anti-air him, it's not going to be so simple to do. And he also has like with all of his web zips, he has like canned animation where if he lands a web zip on you, it's not a command grab, but he can add the sort of pre-canned attack at the end of it, like a kick, like a dive kick or a sort of like a dashing kick. So if you hold any of those buttons down, like while you're zipping, you can do that, which is a cool idea. Or you can just leave it and just have it that it just doesn't, and it just sort of goes in empty. His mine, it's a little like Spider-Man thing. It's alright.
Not that good.
It's alright.
It's like underbaked.
Listen, I mean, maybe the game comes out, it's the most broken thing in existence, and I gotta eat crow in it. Like I'll eat crow. I don't mind. But at the same time, you'll be on 15 minutes. Yeah, no problem, C4. Yeah. So and then when C4 comes back, he can like give his thoughts on it as well. But yeah, I think as far as that character goes, it's like yeah, he definitely feels fun in that regard. He definitely just seems like that was who the producer was using when we played, and
yeah.
Obviously at first he sort of just like dash forward and jab me once and see what I do, and can you play the game, right? And then I sort of showed I can play the game a bit, and he's like, okay, cool, so now if you can play the game, then we'll play the game in it. And like he'll knock me into the corner and he'll start doing like sort of the downward like web zip into like sort of trying to do overhead oki and shit. And I was like, oh Ross, so you're trying to like play the game. Like if you're playing the game like that, then that's actually a good sign in a way, because that shows that if you're willing to do that to me and I'm just in the like some guy in the booth, then that means that like when you're seeing the game sort of being played at this kind of level and it's like people are being kind of grimy, you're thinking, yeah, that's a feature, not a bug, which is great. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely like so it's a fun. So, yeah, go ahead.
The his spider sense stance, like how is that like? I know it's a counter stance, right?
Yeah.
And then when you get struck, so does that work against throws? Is it like highs and lows or only highs? Like what projectiles? How does What's the details on that?
I believe it was highs and lows, if I remember correctly. I think C4 can correct me on that if I'm wrong, but I believe it was highs and lows. And I think maybe the EX version, I think worked on projectiles as well, but it was definitely like it seemed like just a counter move. I can't remember if I had any additional notes that made me think otherwise about it. But I think for the most part, he felt like, just Spider-Man, but fun and like, well, not fun, more fun if you enjoyed him before. Maybe you might play him in this game and find him less fun if you're a Spider-Man purist. But from the little that I did play Spider-Man and enjoyed, like I definitely enjoyed more so of this. Yeah, the counter itself just seemed like a standard counter. Maybe I needed a bit more time because we sort of did the merry-go-round and maybe we didn't check absolutely every bit. High, low, and projectiles. Yeah, exactly, from C4. There you go. Big thing is that you can't web away from the opponent. Yeah. It's definitely not the sort of So here's the thing that actually was really sick about Spider-Man, yeah, that I think people might enjoy is like I said about the web zip, right? So he in Marvel 3 he's got kind of a four-way, it's a four-way diagonal web zip directions, right? You can go up, forward, down, back, up, back. And that was, you could kind of cancel any of his special moves into that, and that was kind of cool, right? That's very tricky. In this game, like they've given him a web hang, so he'll do like sort of up, and I think what was it? I think unique and a button, and you do that, and you can web hang. So like there's things where like you can web zip towards somebody, and then just as you're gonna get close to them, you can web hang. So they could throw out maybe a button, or they can try and anti you, and you're just sitting there hanging, and you're waiting, and then you could after that press a button, and you can punish them. So like that's the kind of stuff that I thought actually this is pretty inspired and pretty sick. Do you know what I mean? And like outside of that as well, you can like do special moves and whatnot. So I think those things are the things that I thought was like really really cool. The spider sense, I think we had maybe high hopes for it. And listen, I'm not gonna admit there's still maybe some research to be done. But in terms of what I currently saw from it, I wasn't as sort of impressed with it. Do you know what I mean?
Okay. So it's just more like, but like that, the Spider Sense thing, that's his main, like the same way that the heat gauge for Ghost Rider is his gimmick and then Storm has her wind, right? Would you say the Spider Sense thing is his gimmick, or is it more so the mobility?
I would say the mobility and the sort of web zips, like I would say that's definitely his type of thing. I see Wolfley Post saying Exiled Battle Director, he's here for it. Yeah, definitely, man. Exiled Battle Director. I mean, like Wolfley will tell you that's his favorite Guilty Gear, and that Guilty Gear is an amazing game in all honesty. Sort of developed into this game that I think a lot of people sort of loved, but maybe didn't get played as much as it should have. And if he's kind of sort of coming into this with those types of ideas, this is very much like what I sort of was expecting, but maybe even a little bit more crazy. But I think there's definitely a level of sort of craziness in the game that I'm enjoying so far. I just want to make sure that they keep it up and they don't sort of start to think, oh, maybe we should start dialing it back. Because nah, man, don't dial that shit back, bro. I want to see like madness. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to see all sorts of shit. So I think, who knows? Maybe it's a thing where later on, Spidey Sense might get reworked or something like that. But as of right now, it just feels like, okay, he's got a counter. Do you know what I'm saying? And listen, having a counter in this game that isn't just like, because right now most people have what they have 2H. They have the only other counter I can think of is the Captain America counter. Right, you got the assist counter for the unique, and then you got the other thing on point as well. Those are the only ones that I can think of. So it's like maybe it's good to have another character with that makes you think about it, alongside the fact that he's also very mobile. Because I think that, so it's like, again, right, where it was C4 was saying that he felt like Ghost Rider is quite a complete character. It's like Spider-Man in that regard. It's like, so you're doing all those things where in the air you're extremely unpredictable, and on the ground it's also like, damn. So he could also throw out this counter, right, alongside the fact that he also has the universal tools. He could be quite a tricky character, maybe to sort of navigate around, and there's a lot of things to end up having to respect. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, for sure.
That's dope.
Yeah.
I think I don't think they're gonna dial it back as they launch new characters. I think what we're seeing is definitely the DNA of what we're going to be seeing in the future. My main concern, or my main one of my main like questions or just something I'm wondering about is like just the fact that we haven't even seen a character reveal since the reveal of the game. Like that makes me worried that either they announced too early or there was some like Marvel like stipulations like, oh, you got to announce it by now, even though like the developers probably would have said if we could have it our way, we would announce it because by now we would have seen at least a character reveal by now. Like normally when you announce the game, there's like a rollout period, right, to kind of get everyone excited, get people looking forward to the next event, to the next character, to keep the game fresh in the minds of people or keep the excitement high. So I'm really curious as to why we haven't seen one. And my guess would be that they actually announced the game earlier than the developers would have liked, but because there's like three other main, companies behind it, like maybe the actual studio um maybe the actual studio didn't have the choice. Like they had to like talk about it or release the game or announce the game earlier than they would have liked to.
I think that's very
But I'm not sure what
possible.
your thoughts on.
No. I think that, do you know what? So it's not something that I initially thought. Really. I remember before when you'd said this previously, and I had said, well, to me, the fact that yes, we knew that Spider-Man and Ghost Rider in the game, but we hadn't actually sort of seen them play was more than enough for me to see these characters in action, as opposed to like a whole new character reveal. But if I was to
Yeah,
try and steal man what you're saying, like sure, like let's say because at the very start they showed the fact that these characters existed, but they didn't show them until now.
yeah.
So did they artificially hold those characters back until now just to
Wait,
sort
you
of
mean Ghost Rider and Spider-Man?
Ghost Rider and Spider-Man, yeah?
Well, we saw them in the launch trailer.
Exactly, but we didn't really see them play much though. I think we saw like a little bit, but we didn't actually see like sort of like the whole um moveset, and they weren't playable. Sorry, they weren't playable
Right.
until now. So they've shown those characters before, but they've not shown like too much of them in the same way that they've shown everyone else. So where we're just like, okay, now we're gonna make this new build where they're playable, and is that gonna be a sort of artificial way of stretching out the content, sort of feeding it piecemeal, because of the fact that maybe they hadn't they don't they I don't know how many more characters they have. We've sort of gone back and forth in terms of how many more characters they're going to be showing, but is it a case of like they don't have too many more characters, so they're trying to stretch it out like best they can until release? Is it a case of like like I was saying, maybe it's mandated by Marvel, or even I don't know, maybe Sony has said something as well, because those are the two major cooks that are in the kitchen for them. Do you know what I mean? That are sort of just looming over each shoulder. Um, Whether you want to call them devil and angel, angel and angel, or devil and devil, that's up to you. But like, yeah, like definitely, I think they would have something to say. One because one would
My,
be
my,
fun
my
in the
my
game.
money goes on that. My money is definitely on. If I was supposed to guess, it would be like probably if it were up to Arxis, they probably wouldn't have announced it when they announced. And this happens so commonly in video game like it just happened to with Monster Hunter Wilds. It's very clear that Monster Hunter Wilds was not ready to come out when it came out.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
just
yeah.
absolutely not. But the rumor is that Capcom had their earnings call or
Shareholders,
whatever, and they had to have
baby.
certain things.
Yep.
Yeah. So. But I mean, I guess that's just only speculation in terms of Tokon. But it is yeah, it's just something that I wonder about because I think a lot of people, yeah, everyone's just curious. Like, whenever the next character reveal is, the amount of views that's going to be on that video, the amount of like talk that's going to be about it, like even if it's a mediocre, like a give me character, right? Like you're gonna have Wolverine most likely. So even when Wolverine gets announced, people are still going to be interested to see what their take on Wolverine is, right? Like how he plays. They don't just gonna Berserker Claw, Tornado Claw, that's it, right? Especially considering what we've got with the current characters. Berserker Claw, like we're gonna get something a bit more interesting, where some healing factor shit. You know what I mean? Like I think will probably be the most interesting version of Wolverine that we've probably seen in the fighting game. So
Hey, listen, man. Like I said before, it's very possible we get Fantastic Four all at once. You can't just show one of them and then just be like, oh, 2 months later, here's the next one. 2 months later,
we
here's the
should we
next
should
one.
actually place bets. We should place bets. I will bet money that's not happening.
What? They're
We're
not
not
getting
getting.
Fantastic Four in the
Yeah,
game?
we're not getting all of them. Nope, we're not getting all of
Oh,
them.
you mean
Guaranteed.
yo, as in the entire
I
roster,
think
we're not
at
gonna get
most
all
we
of them.
get two. At least in launch game, like before Tokon chapter 2 stars of Doctor Doom or whatever, right? Like whatever we get in the next in the next expansion, like in the base roster, base launch game, I don't see us getting all four. Actually, no. Let me take that back. I don't think we get all Fantastic Four members in the base launch, but with DLC characters, that we'll probably get all of them. But
Listen,
base launch, not only do I not think we get them in base launch, but I will be extremely disappointed if we get 4 slots dedicated to Fantastic Four. Trash-tastic Four. No,
man said fantastic.
Garbaggio.
What is going on here? Listen, I'm not a big Fantastic Four fan. In fact, what you're saying is many years ago what I would have said, not in terms of whether or not they're in the game, but Trash-tastic Four and all the rest of that. Yeah, do but like whatever. Do you know what I mean?
You need to stop this slander, bro. That's the first family, bro. That's the first
It
family.
is the first
That's
family.
the last
first
family.
family.
That's why they shouldn't stay where they are at.
What you
The
said?
first family, keep
This
them in
is
the past.
crazy.
Deleted. Yeeted and
Fantastic Four
deleted. Get
turds,
them out
yeah?
of here.
Is that what we're doing?
Bro.
Alright, cool. Listen.
Bro, even the
This is
movie
like
didn't make
saying,
much
I don't
money,
know.
man. They thought Pedro
This is
Pascal
like saying
could save
Akira.
them.
This is like saying Akira, the anime is dated and it's whack. No one cares about those exploding heads. That's what
Well,
you're saying right now.
I would never say that because Akira is goated, but Fantastic Four is not.
No, No, that's what you're saying. Without the Fantastic Four, you wouldn't have Silver Surfer, you wouldn't have Galactus, you wouldn't have the Annihilation Wave.
Sure, but you know
Like,
what?
just relax.
This
Some
brings up
respect.
this brings up a very pop culture relevant conversation. I know C4. I know you don't follow battle rap, right? But very recently, maybe Chrome knows about this. Very recently, a battle rapper called DNA has been going at it with an old school battle rapper named Jay Mills, right?
Yep.
And DNA is saying that there's a difference between a legend and a pioneer, right? So now, yeah, true, and that as well, right? So now,
Okay.
obviously, this falls to semantics, right? Like somebody could say pioneer and they mean legend, and vice versa. But his point is that like the
Yeah.
Fantastic Four are pioneers and that they pioneered the concept of a superhero family. But are they legends though? Like, are they legends in terms of like, do they have the best stories? Are they the most compelling characters? Like, some people would swear by it for sure, but I think for me the answer is they're pioneers, but they're not legends. They're pioneers, but they're whack. Like they're not
I
that
think
great.
as a team, no. But without Fantastic Four, you wouldn't have Doom. You wouldn't have the Illuminati
I can
because Reed.
concede that. Like everything that came from the tree of Fantastic Four, I can concede that without F4, then we don't get those other things. But that doesn't mean the team themselves, it's kind of more.
Bruv, man, I'm hearing this. Yeah,
Like,
man
the
is
Fantastic
hearing.
Four would be good without Ben Grimm. I'll be real.
No, 100%. Like,
Yeah.
I think
Like,
for most people, his personality is cool, but in terms of his actual abilities and all the rest of that, like, no one's
trash.
really been like, yo, throw on that. You know what I mean? Like, right now, all I'm hearing is Charlie's hearing Big Daddy Kane, like, friggin', you know what I mean? And Public Enemy, and he's like, bro, throw on that Future and NBA Youngboy, man. I'm trying to hear that shit. I'm trying to hear any of that shit.
Bro, that's funny.
He's like,
Bro,
throw
I've
on,
never
you know
heard
what I
an
mean?
NBA Youngboy song in my life.
Throw on some
Never in my
LLE Chopper,
life.
man. I mean, I ain't trying to hear all of that shit.
Jeez.
Wolfie
Some
Pez
Playboy
says,
Carti and shit.
exactly. Wolfie Pez says Chrome just hates Pedro and that's extends to the F4 film. Fuck Chrome. Hey, listen, my
You do hate Pedro though. Pedro is a good actor. You don't like Pedro
guys,
Pascal.
that guy is like,
He-
listen, very specific things that I've seen him in, right? He was incredible in Game of Thrones. He was I'm assuming he was great in The Last of Us because I've not watched it or played it. And
Wonder
I've
Woman.
heard
He was good in Wonder Woman.
boy, then listen, I'll take you man's word for it. But of what I've seen misses. You know what I mean? I've seen a lot of phoning in. Like, man was doing conference calls and he was phoning in the performances. You know what I mean? Like, he's there, but he's not really there. You know what I'm saying? But that's don't worry. I'll crash out them later. Yeah, but Fantastic Four.
He's goated, man.
Nah. I don't know about all of that. But Fantastic Four. Look, either they're all in there at the start, or none of them are there, and they're all DLC. And honestly, you could probably do yourself a DLC. Okay, here's where it would be a bit annoying. I think is because you kind of have to put them in, depending on how they do the seasons, right? You'd have to put them in at the start, the starting roster. If you put them in as a season, someone's gonna be like, bro, I've got to wait a whole year to get more characters because I don't fucking care about any of the Fantastic Four. Why is season 1 just the Fantastic Four? Or the Fantastic Four and, okay, you put the Fantastic Four Wolverine and I guess everyone would buy that. But they were like, bro, why am I doing that? Do you know what I mean? I don't want to see that shit. Like, get out of here, bro. Like, again, right? Throw on some you know what I mean? Whatever's popping these days, bro. Throw on some
Yeah.
something.
You know what? One of the biggest evidence as to why I wouldn't be surprised if they don't make it in is because what do you do with the fact that Kamala is there and you're gonna have Mr. Fantastic? Even with you can have Devil May Cry battle director, you can have the fucking guy that made Sekiro, you can have all the From Software combat gurus, fucking one. One Piece. You know in One Piece when they talk about like, have you heard of the legendary pirate from Streatham Hill? And he has a knife in his shoe, like, you know what I mean? And you see the silhouette, you know what I mean? Like they can have all the legendary game developers of legend, and they won't know how to differentiate between Mr. Fantastic's gameplay and Miss Marvel's gameplay. So they'll, you know what they'll say? They'll say, "Fuck Mr. Fantastic, he's moist anyway. We already got our stretchy person. Let's leave him out." Because what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
Wait. Let me be that guy. Let me be the guy that is the galactic level intellect.
I'm still laughing.
Me, I know this. I can do this. Kamala Khan is slightly different to Fantastic Four, to Mr. Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie's right about that. But you know what she doesn't have? Tech. Mr. Fantastic has probably on par, if not more tech than Tony.
Wait, really? But how?
Galactic.
Is that
Yes.
is that a recent? But yeah.
Nope.
But when he's but
More
typically.
canon law.
But when he's portrayed, though, like when Mr. Fantastic is portrayed in fights or in comics, or like in terms of when he uses his abilities as a superhero, it's the stretching.
Mhm.
Like his brain,
As a
like
sup-
he's the smartest. He's the smartest in the verse, sure, but like his stretching ability is that's his combat thing, right?
That's his gimmick.
Like,
That's true, but look at Magneto. When you see
we're
Magneto,
not gonna get Mr. Fantastic summoning drones. We're not. That's not happening.
no. You say this, but what's Magneto's power? Magnets, metal, right?
Right.
How much metal do you see in Magneto's moves in Marvel 3?
But that's different, though. That's different. The reason why I think that's different
See, here we go.
Wait, I'll explain it. It's different because Magneto is clearly a byproduct of we don't know what to do with how he gets metal in the game, and they probably had a version where every movie has he's like summoning metal from off screen, and they were like, this is dumb, so let's just give him magnetic tempest, let's just give him like shit that he doesn't actually have, because it makes more sense gameplay wise. But I think that
It doesn't.
Psionic
Blast does not make sense if you watch a lick of Magneto. He never does that.
Like,
it makes more sense to get metal off screen.
I agree.
Wait, now that he said that, yeah, just to cut in quickly, yeah, it's actually taken them like 25 to 30 years for them to give him like moves that actually control like magnetism and attract and reject and repel. To be fair,
no, but I agree, but yeah. I think that I think if we were a fly on the wall when they made Marvel 2 or whatever the first Marvel's Capcom game that Magneto was playable, if we were a fly on the wall in the game and we were looking at them like designing Magneto, I guarantee you they were like, we don't know about how we feel about every move. He's bringing in like random pieces of metal, like a bus stop, a car, you know what I mean? Some random like magnetic pens and pencils from the classroom. Like it's just a bit weird. So let's just give him lasers. Like I know it's stupid, but like I guarantee you that was a design hiccup that they found themselves in. I think that's the issue that Magneto ran into.
I've seen Hasenko. She's got like one of those Acme bags. Remember like Animaniacs where they had the bag and they literally pull out anything from it? She's pulling out all sorts. It's not that hard to summon a bit of metal. A car door, a fork, anything.
I'm not saying it's hard, but I reckon they thought it was stupid. I know, even as stupid as it sounds me saying that, I reckon they thought it just didn't look good. Because think about it, right? Like every move, he's just like magnetism, and then something comes from off screen. It will get a bit ridiculous. So he has to have a move at some point that he generates from himself. Like think about it. Like you can't. Not every move can be summoning things from off screen.
Yeah, Doom does that with his chair. He's level 3. He gets a throne from nowhere.
Yeah, but that's
an incubation tube.
But it works more with Doom because he's the tech guy, right? Like you don't.
Okay.
No, am I right?
He's the tech guy. Show me a room with no metal in it. Show me a stage with no metal in it.
No, I'm not.
Every stage has metal in it.
You're correct. Yeah, you're right. But I'm just saying it would look dumb. I think they thought it would look dumb.
Maybe they thought that. They're wrong then. They're wrong. It doesn't look dumb. Metal's everywhere.
It is, but yeah. Like I obviously I don't know. None of us were a fly on the wall, but I guarantee you, my guess would be they just thought it would look stupid, and I think it kind of would be, right? Like think about, let's say, okay, how many moves does Magneto have? He's got his what's it called? EM Disruptor, right? EM Disruptor, Magnetic Tempest. No, that's a super. Hyper grab.
Yeah.
What has he got? He's got the flying one where he does the sonic boom
Magnetic
going
blast.
down.
Magnetic
He's got
blast.
Magnetic Blast. Yeah, is it
Yeah.
3 moves, right? Is there any more?
Hmm?
Outside of super.
He's got the force field as well.
Attracts, I guess.
Yeah, he's got attraction,
Oh, yeah, the
projection,
push thing, right?
gravitation. Attraction,
Yeah.
projection, gravitation, EM disruptor, magnetic blast, hypergrav, and the magnetic field, which is like a counter and also like nullifies projectiles.
Yeah. I guess yeah. I'm
Not a
just
lick of metal.
imagining. True. Yeah, I know. I acknowledge that it's stupid. I just think they went with it because they just thought it would look cooler. Because I'm imagining an alternate reality where all he's doing is summoning from off screen, and I'm not even going to say that character would be bad. It would just I just think it would be a bit too samey, or it would just change the design dynamic of that character, where he's more of a Dormammu type of character rather than the character that we got. But maybe that wouldn't be a bad thing.
So obviously, when it comes to like aesthetics, I can't touch you. So you could be right about the developer saying, yeah, it's going to look a bit crazy, him summoning metal from all corners of the globe onto the screen. I can grant that. That's fine. But with Mr. Fantastic, you remember, again, this was pre-podcast went live. I don't know if Chrome wasn't here when I was talking about giving the lore of Marvel through the game. I think people should know that Mr. Fantastic is the smartest person on the planet, and he has tech that surpasses Tony in terms of Tony's the master of like Earth tech. When it comes to cosmic tech, Mr. Fantastic's that guy.
Yeah,
100%.
How-
It would be
how-
cool if he shows that.
gun, bruv. Where's the wooden gun, bruv? I want to see.
But he's been that since from the first comic. He gets the ultimate nullifier. He's always been this way. I know it's not always portrayed in the movies, but if you read a comic and you see his lab, you know what he's about. He uses tech more than he's probably his power.
Yeah. Okay. Well, in that case, then yeah, because I truly didn't know that, but yeah, since that's the case, then that would be a way to differentiate between him and Kamala, right?
Yeah.
But Fantastic Four
It is a reach. From your perspective, it is a reach. 100%. I do agree with that. I want them to, as his Arxis kind of doing their respin, they could make him different enough from Kamala. But my first reaction is, oh yeah, you've already got Kamala Khan. If you make another character grab you from full screen, they're going to be like, you've done this, bro. What are you doing? Yeah. He does use his elastic in different ways, like defensively. You see it in Rivals, where he's like a wall.
Up and stuff.
Kamala just does size and arms.
Right.
She doesn't expand herself, and like his command grab could be he puts you in his bubble. He makes himself into a balloon and puts you in it, or some craziness like that.
To be fair, even if they didn't take the tech approach, I think maybe there is a world where you can have two stretchy characters, and just when you do Mr. Fantastic, you just focus on the different shapes, and like you actually could do it in a very different way. But if they were to take the tech thing, then they could be like, okay, he's got the tech, and then he's got one or two moves where he utilizes the stretching in a different way to Kamala, and then boom, the two characters are different. So I will concede right now that like, actually there is a way to implement him that is different to Kamala, whether he brings the tech or not. I just don't want them because it's Fantastic Four.
I know if this is a character that you like more, you would be way more inclined to not care about the overlap. Like if we had two characters, if we had Blades and we had some other sword, and you would be like, man, I ain't trying to see two tall characters that also got guns and I ain't trying to see.
I would be objective. I would say if that was the case, I would acknowledge the clash of sameness. I would acknowledge that. I wouldn't, even if it's characters that I'd like, I wouldn't be afraid to acknowledge that for sure.
I'll agree with Charlie. I don't want to see him in base roster, 100%. I don't want to see, if they do base roster,
put him in base roster. Do it.
Fantastic Four. You have to do probably Sue and Johnny.
Yeah,
Fire and Invisible, because they're not already in the game. I do agree with that. You don't put in base roster.
No, listen, you do all, you do none, or you just go super scrub. You could then go super scrub, bruv. Let's go super scrub again, and we run it back.
You could do that.
You know what I'm saying?
You could do
But
that. You could do that.
I'm down for Super Scroll.
but I'll tell you why I'm not having it, because it's a 4v4 game, bro. It's like imagine.
Yeah,
Like, you know what I'm saying? You can't have a
Yeah.
4v4 game
Yeah.
and not have the first family that are literally the perfect number of
Yeah.
characters. Do you know what I'm saying?
But the thorn in the side of the argument for Fantastic Four is just fucking Ben, bruv. He is just. What do you
It's
do?
hard to defend.
What do
You
you
can make
do?
him
You have
interesting,
nothing to do. No, Ben is the character where you can have all the One Piece silhouettes, the legendary legend of the Yonko and the Shichibukai. You're not designing him interestingly at all. Ben, the Thing, it's clobbering time. Like, nah, you're not. You're just not. Okay. You know what? This interesting thing that we brought up Magneto before, right? Ben is the kind of character where they're like, fuck, what do we make him do? Well, we've never seen him throw rocks out of his chest, but fuck it, we have to make him do something. You know what I mean? And then that's where you get like hyper rocks. That's what you're gonna get from. You know what I mean? Like,
That's it,
bruv,
You would have to pay me a lot of money to defend Ben, because I kind of agree with Charlie. Like, Ben is the most boring character. But the angle they could do is what they did with She-Hulk. She-Hulk is known for the personality. She-Hulk is the personality character. You look at a tool set and be like, you're not doing anything Hulkish.
Yeah.
Not really. What's she doing as Hulk? She's doing a lariat.
She's doing a
Heather does a
lariat,
lariat.
and she's
Picks up
doing
the
like
pole out of nowhere.
yeah, she picks out the pole, but that was like an addition into Ultimate. But yeah, I agree. Let's just take the whole character. She picks the pole out of nowhere. She does the she throws the car in level 3. She does like the command
Does she
grabs,
throw?
like
Oh no, she does. The car hits you, then she throws it.
yeah, then she throws it exactly. But yeah, she has those things. Like they did stuff that's kind of the spirit of it, but really she's a lot more of an athletic, like El Fuerte type of, where she's jumping all over the place, and she's much more of a sort of better
It's
character.
a wrestler, bro. It's a wrestler.
She is a
She's
wrestler.
body slamming you. She's just a wrestler. But the reason people like her is because of the personality. I think Ben has enough of a personality that it can justify him in the game. It's a stretch, but I kind of agree with Charlie. Aesthetically, he's not going to be cool or interesting. Like, even moveset, I can't. What is he going to charge at you? He's just Juggernaut, but not interesting.
I agree, but listen, She-Hulk should have been garbage for all intents and purposes, but that's where creativity from the design team actually came into play and then made that character cool. You could do the same thing in this. You know what I'm saying? You could make him where, I mean, okay, first obvious thing, let's get out of the way. He's going to curl up into a ball and he's going to roll across the fucking floor. We already know that. That's already happened. But once he's done that, do you know what I mean? After that, he's going to start clobbering. So cool, command grabs. Do a thing where it's clobbering time and he starts clobbering, bro. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like, maybe he ground pounds. Maybe he does something.
Install.
Like, install, bro. It's clobbering time.
Clobbering time install.
Yeah, there you go, man. And then after that,
he grows the beard.
Oh my god, he grows the beard.
From the movie.
Yeah.
Bro, this is what's going to happen. This is the solution. You put Johnny and Sue, Mr. Fantastic and Thing, they show up in the super, in the level 3. That's it. You got your F4. That's it.
That's
they show up in the level. They show up in the level 3. It's not much extra resources. Just animate them. You don't even need to have a full character model. Put them in the super and then be done with it.
Bro, it's gonna be so what? So they're like now unveiling, right? And then it's gonna be like Johnny Storm and Sue Storm, right? And then it's gonna be like, Johnny, let's go, Sue. And then after this, it's like whoever I picked, right? Dr. Doom, I guess, even though enemies, like I don't think it works, bro. Like
you just have 2 different supers. You just have 2 different supers that involve the whole Fantastic Four. If you're Johnny or Sue.
This is the most racism I've ever seen against these 2 characters. This is the most egregious. They're treated like second-class citizens.
Super animation. That's what they are, though. They're you know what I mean. Just put them in the animation. That's it.
Listen,
I think Charlie had this kind of hatred in his heart, bro. I actually didn't know you was. I thought you was a pure individual. You got some darkness in there, bro.
I know, right? This is what I'm saying. Man's got Shin Charlie, bro. I hear it.
Shin Charlie, jeez, bro, it's coming out, man. The mentioning of these characters' names just does something to me. I don't know what it is.
All right, well, wait.
Can't happen in the game.
God,
he's kind of not wrong though. They like half that team is not good for fighting games. Aesthetically, they're just very.
You be creative enough and it can work. Like even the stretchy moves, I think you can make. So you can make different stretchy moves work. So do you know, like even in a sense, right? So it's not stretchy moves, but you play Spider-Man and you were like, what I was doing with Kamala, it feels like I'm doing that, but like kind of more so what I want to be doing. Like you could do something like that where it's like, okay, so his stretchy moves aren't gonna make him zip across the sky, right? Fair. But he could just be a character that's much more about like he moves slower, but he just covers like many more sort of portions of the screen. Or when he's sort of attacking, like I don't know, he can stretch in between his moves and make him a little bit harder to sort of counter attack.
Bro, man's trying to come up with C Viper cancels for Mr. Fantastic, bro.
It don't have to necessarily be Viper cancels. No, man. No, man. That's not what I mean necessarily. I was saying like it could even be a thing where it's like not a slip through counter, but a bit where like he can shrink his hurt boxes, or he can like leave. So it's like, okay, he's going up to you and like maybe you're trying to hit him below, and maybe he's got a move that can like make him, I don't know, like sort of in between any of his moves, he can press something and then he can just be like whoop, and then like all of a sudden he's like you do it low, and then it just whiffs. You know what I'm saying? Or
KOF dodges into the background, bro.
Yeah, man.
KOF sidestep. That's all you can come up with. KOF Fatal Fury sidestep.
Steal it, bro. X copy, bro. Sharingan Kakashi that shit, bro. I don't even care, bro. Do it. Copy the job.
Oh man, I didn't know you liked Fantastic Four that much.
I don't like it. That's the funniest thing. I don't like them at all. I actually don't like them.
It's out of respect. It's out of respect.
It's just funny. It makes so much sense to me that if they're gonna be in the game, right? Like, I mean, if the game's gonna be 4v4, you have to. Yeah. You just have to, man. Like,
it's such a massive fumble if they don't.
Exactly. And like marketing wise, right? I'm sure there's like a bunch of people who be like, oh yeah, Fantastic Four, oh the thing, oh it's Sue Storm, oh. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's gonna be great for them. I guess. Man.
Even the fact that, I mean, let's be a bit more real, right? Even the fact that the movie didn't do that well, right? After, I mean, there's probably going to be many reasons for that, but that leads me to believe even more confidently that they might not actually be all gung ho to put them in, because they're like they it's kind of like the Superman issue, right? Like Superman is a legendary character, Silver Age superhero, right? Sure, but the reality is that Superman does not resonate with the audience as much as he once did, because times have changed. The concept of the Ubermensch, that's the super white man from outer space, right? It just doesn't resonate with people as much. And I think Fantastic Four is a similar set of characters that, for whatever reasons, the resonation factor is just not there. So forcing them in just because they have legacy, I think that would be a blunder.
Ooh, but
I've been thinking, because
go on.
I 100% understand what Charlie's saying. We are forcing we're being the old men back in my day. This was the original 14, and I was thinking, what's the equivalent of like this generation? And I think it's the Defenders, the Netflix Defenders, Luke Cage, Iron Fist, what's her face,
Jessica Jones.
Yeah, Jessica Jones, and what's the fourth one? Daredevil. And that's probably not the main one. I can't believe it's them. Yeah, if there's going to be a 4-man team, it will probably be that. That makes way more sense for this generation. Or
I'll definitely put Daredevil in this game. Yeah. No doubt.
Yeah, exactly. So you might as well just... I mean, could be biased. I think Luke Cage is more interested in... But Luke Cage and Iron Fist are better. There's 3 out of the 4 are interesting.
Luke Cage is
cool.
He's just black.
No, don't stop.
He's just
Luke Cage is not getting in.
He's black. He's black, and he takes less damage than usual, man. He's
strong
black.
Man. Isn't his name Power Man? Well, how are you called Power Man?
Whole time Power Man, bro. To get him out of there, man. Power your way into popularity again, bro. And when you do that, then you can come back. But until then, power your way to the retirement home, man.
The only reason I'm laughing is because this is probably how I sound to you guys about anime. My ignorance in anime is painful. What you guys are saying about Luke Cage is actually stirring up some deep, dark feelings in me, bro.
What you're saying would be true if this game was coming out 15 years ago when the Netflix Defenders Daredevil shows were popping off. But like, they're not, right? Even when
I'm saying it's more relevant than Fantastic Four, though, right? It's more relevant. As a 4-man team.
Honestly, I think they're both legitimately so like in the shadow realm right now. I think they're not even. I think they're both evenly not relevant, to be honest with you. Like, if you're going by current comics, I can't say because I don't read the current comics. But if you're going by like pop culture relevancy in terms of recency, and all of that. If you're going by that, I think I would put Fantastic Four above the Defenders, to be honest with you.
So I'm
Like,
going by
no,
pop culture
not
because
even.
comics, Fantastic Four are still popping. But in pop culture, I would say the team, yes, the team is Fantastic Four. But I think pop culture, Daredevil laps Fantastic Four.
Oh yeah, if you're talking about Daredevil as an individual character, yes, but the team Defenders versus Fantastic Four as a team, pop culture wise, Fantastic Four is winning. I think 100%.
I'd say
Because
Daredevil only
I think
does that
most
within the
people.
last 10 years. If you're talking about all of, like, in pop culture in general, I'd say the last 10 years. But I'd say maybe
No, but
20
we're comparing.
years gone.
But I thought we're comparing the team versus the team, right? We're
I
talking about
think
F4.
Daredevil can carry. I think Daredevil carries
solos,
the team.
yeah. Daredevil solos.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Daredevil
Daredevil justifies Luke Cage and Iron Fist.
He definitely does. By the way, I actually agree with what he's saying. I think he does effectively carry that whole team, because other than that, Jessica Jones, I'm sorry, like, bro, it's a white woman in a black man. It's just a white woman in a black man, bro. I was
Why is
getting
it
to
always
Luke
color
Cage.
with you, bro? Why is it always color? This is
You're
black
right.
Luke Cage and that's white
Fucking
Jessica
Umar
Jones, bro.
Johnson over
This is
here.
the most racist I've been in the last, like, however long, man.
We need a
Domination.
non-snow bunny. We need a non-snow bunny, and that's Jessica Jones. I'm tired. I'm tired of these snow bunnies, bro.
Funny. But
Give me
but
some
Daredevil
dark-headed
doesn't.
ladies, please.
Daredevil doesn't need, like, he's such a good character on his own. He doesn't need to. We don't need Daredevil to usher in any other character. Just have Daredevil and then just have other characters. Like, it doesn't need to be, well, we need Defenders, so let's put in Daredevil to get the Defenders.
I
Because
agree.
Luke
I
Cage.
feel we need a four. Don't you think we need a four-man team though? Like an authentic four-man team in a
I actually
4v4
don't.
fighting game.
You know what? I actually don't think so, because they didn't put your passive idea in. I think if your passive idea was there and there was more of a reason for actual team construction, or some kind of benefit that you get for utilizing the actual team. Like, let's say you got the X-Men, you got Avengers, you got Defenders, you got Fantastic Four. If there was like a bonus that you get for actually assembling the real team, not just random team members from different teams, then I could
Right.
see that being more of a necessity. But because it's not really, like, sure, the game is 4v4, but you can just make your own team of the different characters that are available. We don't have to shoehorn the team aspect, especially when you got Trashtastic 4 as an option. Like,
For fuck's
Okay.
sake.
you know what I mean?
You got me.
No.
You convinced me. I'll give up. You're actually so right. If it was my idea, it would make sense, but their idea, it doesn't make sense. You got me. You are right.
Look, you know
Rare,
what?
rare,
So,
rare footage where I've compelled C4. Jeez, I remember
Fully
this
has.
day.
no, but
Fully has, bro.
do you know what though? No, in terms of, like, function, right? Let's, like, word to combo fiend. Yeah? Like, I don't think it's necessary. But in terms of promotion and, like, bro, like, in general, let's be honest, yeah. Like, when it comes to team games, the one thing that effectively these, like, the casual player is never allowed to do once the game matures is play favorite character file, and that's all they want to do is play favorite character file. And these are the types of things that they want, right? They want, like, sort of unique voice lines, and they want favorite character file, right? I want to be able to play the Fantastic Four. I want to be able to play the X-Men. I want to be able to play Deadpool and Wolverine. I want that to work, right? And the game so far, like, in terms of how it currently is, right? I'm sure the meta will evolve and develop, and certain characters will become less effective, but not completely ineffectual, based on the way that this game currently is, like, mechanically. Like, it's fine. So if you're going to allow them to play favorite character fighter, then lean into the fact that you can be like, hey, you can play as the whole Fantastic Four. You can play as the X-Men, right?
But ain't no one's favorite character Ben Grimm, bro. And I rate Ben. I rate Yancey Street. No one ain't trying to go, I want Ben in my game.
So
bro.
Yancey
No one. I'm sorry. Respectfully.
Yeah.
Respectfully. No one's sent a tweet or uttered the words, even in their mind palace, that I want the thing in a fighting game. Unfortunately.
So yo,
1
throw on that
million%.
Ben Grimm, man. Throw on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Nobody says that, bro. It's like, like rappers like Lord Jamar, when they're like, ain't nobody play Eminem in the hood. It's like, no, ain't nobody said throw on that Eminem. That's what's going on.
Yeah. I hate it, but it's true.
But I think the issue though is like Chrome, you're saying that, like, favorite character fighter works both ways, right? Like, you could say some people want to play their favorite teams, like their actual superhero teams, but people can also want to play their own custom-made dream team. Like, I want to play a fighting game where I've got Wolverine, Daredevil, Blade, and Deadpool. I've got, like, the Ninja Blade characters, right? Like, I think you're missing that aspect as well of building your own dream team rather than having to have a dream team, or leaning into the dream team that comes out the box.
Oh,
right?
no,
It doesn't
no.
have to be out the box dream team. It could just be.
I can agree with you, but I also think that like but the reason why I know I'm not missing that, right, is because they allow you to do that anyway, right? It's like I think if they had done C4's idea, then that actually probably leans less into pick who you want, right? And it would be more okay. There is an actual benefit to having this, like you get passive bonuses, so actually
But the
it
drawback is
incentivizes.
picking Ben Grimm.
Yeah, there you go. So actively, I want to play Fantastic Four because they're going to give me the Fantastic Four bonus, but Ben Grimm's like just there, bro. Like, why is he there, right? But now it's like, oh, you can still pick who you want. So it's kind of you can eat your cake and have it too, bro. You can have both. You can advertise the Fantastic Four, and at any point you can take out any of the Fantastic Four and put Daredevil in there, and then slowly just put the Human Torch in there because that's the only one that everyone actually cares about, right? Human Torch and friends, like you can do it, but like I'd say initially that would be a great draw to just be like, you see them walk up as well, and they'll be like, "Oh my god, it's you know what I mean?" Like everyone's gonna be, popping off, bro. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. Well, like Wolfie said, by adding the entire F4, that just means fewer slots for other characters.
I agree.
And
But
the problem that we're having is
we're saying that because we don't like those
Mhm.
characters, right? Because if we just said, bro, they're definitely putting in the X-Men, right? Like no one's gonna have a problem with that. Like 4 X-Men, no one will ever have an issue with that. Has slots of fewer slots of other characters. It's because we don't like them. But I get what you're saying. What you're saying is correct, but it's only because it's based on popularity, right?
Well, it's not. Well, I don't think it's actually. That's half of it. I think it's yes, A, that we don't find them as interesting, but B, it's because they actually are not as interesting as other options, right? Like there's the personal opinion, and then there's the slightly more objective. Okay, what do these characters do, and how much freedom and interesting design flexibility do we have if we are choosing between certain X-Men characters versus certain Fantastic Four? Like think of it this way: let's say that the roster is going to be 24 and currently it's at 20 and it's our decision to put in the last 4 and we have options. We got the entire Marvel roster as options. Whether we have our personal bias behind who we like or not, there are some characters that are objectively more interesting to put in from a design standpoint in a fighting game. If we're looking at F4, I'm sorry, as the last 4 slots, they're going to have an uphill battle to actually make it in over dozens of other X-Men characters, right? Cool. So yeah, there is the natural personal dislike or not lack of fascination behind them, but there is also the objective. But what can you do with them in a fighting game? There's probably other more interesting options.
So I can agree with that. But here's the flip side. I'll say, would you not argue that there are far more interesting characters to put in than Wolverine? Because Wolverine, by many people's accounts here, has been played out for the last however many decades, and that character is
but
like
Wolverine is Ryu. Wolverine is Ryu. He's just Ryu. Like he's Street Fighter Ryu.
Cyclops.
Wait, what?
So exactly,
Cyclops
I think Cyclops is Ryu. Exactly, I'd say Cyclops.
I think they're on the same tier. When I say Ryu, I mean like, okay, then one of them is Ken, then, right? And the point
you're basically saying in terms of popularity, they're non-negotiables, right? But I'm saying that, but that's my thing is like if we're talking about from a design standpoint and that there are more interesting characters to play put in, I just think there are far more interesting characters to put in than Wolverine. And I think a lot of people probably say that if they take off their Wolverine goggles, right? So like definitely there's like, bro, in terms of the X-Men, you could argue that most of them could arguably be a bit more interesting than, except maybe like Archangel, right? Archangel's gonna be like, okay, he flies. Yeah. Cool, you can and fighting games you can make some great. Oh yeah, and Beast, exactly. Oh, see, Beast is do you know what? Like Beast is number one. No, but that's Beast is a very similar thing, yeah.
Wait a minute. I told Charlie this. I've got a Google Doc of all the characters. Beast is obviously on there because I think Beast in a fighting game is way more interesting than Wolverine. Because he does everything Wolverine does.
Okay, buddy. All right, buddy. I don't know
about volcanic takes here.
Tell me something other than the heater factor. Because in every game Wolverine's in, he ain't regenerating health. So they're missing the trick, bro. That's stupid. Having Wolverine in your game and he doesn't regen health is wasted time.
I think that's
on the developer. That's on the developer, though, not the character.
I think X-Men Next Dimension. I think Darky Dids will be able to, if he's still in chat. Actually, I think he is still in chat. Actually, I'm going to read back on a bunch of these messages.
Respectfully, that's the Ben Grimm of X-Men fighting games. No one don't care. Like whenever people think of Wolverine, they're thinking of Marvel 2, Marvel
That's a
3.
red health.
And in those games,
This guy's
he's
a-
just scratch, right? Beast can scratch, but he's also got a brain.
Yeah,
So
I hear
the
it.
concept I have is he has a move that builds Barth because he's intelligent. He's plotted, nasty plot. And you have the angle
yeah.
of Dark Beast. And he's level 1. You just call it Berserker Parage.
For fuck's
Don't
sake.
need Wolverine no more. Don't need Wolverine.
You know what though? I hear it. Like, and instead of dive kick, what he curls into a ball and he just dives towards them. In terms of
Do
like
that.
Berserker
Walklings,
slash, like he's got the claws. Yeah, Walklings. You're
Wolverine
right.
don't do that shit.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, but I wouldn't. I don't know
He's
about.
replaceable.
Nah, I don't know because but if you do actually talk about the things that he has in terms of healing factor and then I think Berserker Rage. Berserker Rage is definitely like a iconic part of his design that
Beast can do Dark Beast. Dark Beast is way more interested in Berserker Wolverine.
I'm gonna be real with you, Chief. You're teaching me the law on Beast because I don't know about no Dark Beast and I read too much on my man.
Real quick, there's a timeline. You know the Apocalypse timeline.
Interesting.
Basically, there's a timeline where Apocalypse is like the ruler of the planet, and his sideman is Beast, and Beast is he's kind of like on the Sinister thing, where he's like manipulating with people's genomes and making mutants and shit, and he's mad dark. So they call him Dark Beast.
Man, if you don't get that Dark Beast out of here, you'll get out of
it.
Dark Beast. What Dark Beast?
Look at me. I'm just crazier than I was before when I was already crazy. Like that instant sleep.
Because if you say that, then you got the horseman Archangel, right? If you're gonna pick Archangel, you have to pick Horseman Archangel. It's kind of a similar thing.
There you go.
You go one or the other. But you go one or the other. You don't go like he just switches into it. But I hear it.
Or Horseman.
I think like Beast could definitely be more interesting, but I think it's almost a moot point because Wolverine is just going to be there because he's either Ryu or he's either Ken, right? So I think it's a better argument to say you want Beast in a game that like rather than trying to argue why Beast should be there instead of Wolverine, just be like try to argue why Beast should be there with Wolverine, like next to Wolverine. You know what I mean? Because it's probably not going to happen.
I don't know if you could have them both. That feels like the Kamala Khan Fantastic Four with even a smaller deviation from between each other. Like Beast is just like Brolic Wolverine. He's a tank Wolverine. More HP Wolverine. I don't know how you do that in the game.
Bro, I don't know about that, boy.
But listen, here's who is definitely making it in base roster. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Psylocke. All right, we're getting our anime ninja samurai woman, Booba. You know what I mean? All of the costumes, like we're getting that. And my sleeper pick is Jubilee. I think not only do I want Jubilee in there, but I think she is going to be in there. But like really low chance, probably.
I'd want Jubilee in there as well, to be honest with you. But again, it's like if you talk about her moveset, right? People are gonna be like, this character's garbage. Why the fuck is she taking up a slot? Like, it's
like fireworks and shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you know what also makes it rough as well, right? Is that if you're talking X-Men, right? Don't get it wrong. You could put about 20 X-Men into the game, but how many are you really gonna get into the game? At least a base roster. Yeah, I mean we've already got Storm, right? So that's already one of them.
It's only one, right?
Yeah, but I mean you could put three more. You could put 3 more in. So if you put 3 more in and you follow this 4 gimmick, right? Then you put 4 in.
But that's the thing. I don't think they're going to do the 4 gimmick. I think not only do I think they won't do the 4 gimmick, but I think they shouldn't because like there's just too many popular X-Men characters, right? And also there's a lot of characters that jump between teams. Like there's some X-Men that become an Avenger, vice versa. Correct. So I think they would be limiting themselves if they stick to this 4, a team of superheroes, maximum 4 from each team.
I think that's the best way to sort of actually try and please people is that rather than just sit and lean onto one side of the sort of the universe, you just take like a group of them from each portion, kind of similar to what Marvel vs. Capcom did. It's like they selected a pool of characters and then they moved on to another like sort of side and another side and another side. Obviously in Marvel 3, it's like because of legacy and just due to the fact that they just had a whole bunch of ideas that they could have had. They had a lot of X-Men. I think they had about 7 or 8, off the top of my head. But like regardless, right? You sort of also had Defenders. You had kind of Thunderbolts as well, but not really. You had a whole bunch of others. So it's I could see that being an easy way to do it. Wolfley says with Psylocke. She's
Slandering
just
Psylocke right now.
yeah.
I
He
don't
said
know
she's
what
just
is
hot.
happening.
She's just hot. That's it. And it's Brother Jerome is
Absolutely not.
screaming wonder, screaming wonder.
You know
And
What Wonder can definitely be there for sure. Wonder's.
no, you
I feel like
guys, you don't have the vision. You don't have the Daisuke vision. I tell you, the X-Men they need to put in, and this covers all bases. You put Kitty Pryde and Colossus.
ooh,
as like
Shadowcat is a GG man. What a
Shadowcat,
character!
yep.
What a character!
okay.
What a character! Do you know what it is?
Shadowcat,
Because of did you read Shadow and Flame where she deals with the hand injury and shit? Like
Yep.
that to me
Yep.
is like her best. Yeah, that's when I actually started rating her as a character.
Shadowcat, she's got for people that don't know, mutant abilities that she can phase through walls. I ain't seen that done in games before. I mean, you can say the equivalent is like the Doom dash through where he teleports. I think it'll be more interesting with a character that's actual power is to go through people.
Mm-hmm.
So she can do the whole left, right, and blow up they don't want mixing the game stuff. And Colossus, from my understanding, there's not been a character that's like a tank, or not a tank, a grappler that has installs. Colossus can be the first install grappler because there's the Phoenix Force Colossus and there's Juggernaut Colossus.
No,
So
he had it before.
He had install in Marvel too.
He had the one.
No, that's an install. I'm saying, sorry, I shouldn't have said install. Stance changes. So he can change into Phoenix Force Colossus. Then he can have projectiles, or he can go into Sidorak one, which is the Juggernaut form, and he could have light armor. And then
this guy's doing some deep cuts from Marvel lore. But said
I'm
Colossus is
trying to get people
projectiles.
to know. This isn't just a game; it's a learning process to get people into the Marvel universe.
Yeah. To be fair, I like I see Colossus being in more over Shadowcat though. I think Shadowcat's power set is interesting, but I don't think it's enough to hard carry her into a fighting game. Like because
what about if I told you about her pet dragon? What about if I told you that she's got a pet dragon?
I think it's too much of a deep cut. I think there's certain deep cuts that like there's so many iterations of these characters that are like different and like about because you really know the lore, but I don't think they're going to lean into those more obscure versions of the characters. I think when they have their characters, they're usually going to do the vanilla base version that most people know. Maybe they'll take a bit of pieces here and there, but like I don't think like if there's a version of Shadowcat where she's like a chef in some Italian kitchen, they're not using that version of Shadowcat.
I can hear you in terms of like what's more popular these days is probably what's going to be used and what's more current, but I think there is a chance that they can do that because I mean sure, like Robbie Reyes is more current than Daniel Ketch or friggin' Johnny Blaze, but it's like those ones.
No one know about Reyes.
Yeah,
no one know about Reyes until this game.
Exactly. I've never heard anyone really even mention Robbie Reyes. So it's like really, if they really wanted to go for like the most obvious like pick, it should have been Johnny Blaze. So like I think I could definitely see them like and look and also shouts to Lockheed. You mentioned Lockheed because she does have a pet dragon and that can be part of her moveset. But go ahead, what are you gonna say, John? Joey?
I think there's a difference between like a version of a character that is like a different person that has the mantle, right? Like you've got multiple people that have the mantle of a different superhero, and that's one thing, right? But there's a difference between there's this issue, there's this run of Magneto where Magneto actually doesn't have magnetism, actually is plastic, and in that run it's like a really cool like power set and he does some cool things. So I want Tokon to have that version of Magneto. That's probably not happening, even though the source material might be really, really interesting, right? Like I think that's what I'm also getting at. So the version of Kitty Pryde that has a pet dragon, like I doubt that's gonna be.
I hear what you're saying.
I could be wrong though.
No, I hear what you're saying. I mean, the pet dragon's been there for ages, but it doesn't pop up all the time. I think with what you're saying, that would them putting Polaris instead of Magneto. Just putting Magneto's daughter that's got the exact same power. No one will be happy with that. It would be like, just give us Magneto. Don't give us the daughter of Magneto.
So you know what's funny?
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying we shouldn't get the obscure because the daughter of Magneto. I'm saying is going to be more obscure to the average understander of Marvel, right? So what, like, rather than do that, why not just have Magneto? That's what I'm saying.
Right. I tell you what. Yeah, like if Marvel 3's development is anything to go by, a lot of the time I think the developers will look at a breadth of these characters and they will just be picking these obscure characters saying they actually have really cool movesets, or they've got really cool versions that would be really interesting for us to actualize into a character. And then it takes like Marvel to rein them in and say, this is who we're mandating. Sometimes they'll say, here's a list of characters that have to be in the game, and then they'll say, now give us a pool of characters that you would like to add to the game. All right, out of this pool, these are not acceptable. I think we're saying you can use these ones, and then you can go from there. I just think like the devs would probably be the ones who'd be sitting there saying, now you know what, let's actually make some sick, you know what I mean? Let's do some random obscure shit. And then these guys are like, nah, all right, you're the egg in the pudding in it. Let's just kind of go for debate ones. Do you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I feel yeah.
Darky just said that version of her is the normal version of her. Or I'm guessing you're talking about Shadowcat. So is the Shadowcat with the dragon? I've never seen
with Lockheed. Yeah.
Like I watched X-Men Evolution, right? Shadowcat didn't have a dragon, so I'm trying to wonder like which like is it like a recent thing where recently, like in the past 20 years, she's had that, or
in the comics?
I don't know. I think it's insane. Yeah, she just doesn't use it all the time. It's you know what it's like? It's like Gambit with his staff. Sometimes you see Gambit and he only throws his cards. He doesn't use his staff. But in the game, they made the staff like pretty important. Right. The dragon is kind of like the staff of Gambit, kind of.
So Shadowcat. So how does she have a dragon? Where does the dragon come from?
A different dimension.
Yeah.
And it's related to her powers, like she melded into like a dragon dimension or something.
Nah, it's just like a pet.
Yeah, just bonded.
Oh wow!
Pet.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah.
If it's that like integral to the character, then yeah, then I think then that's correct, right? Then she could probably have that. Like I thought when I heard dragon, I'm thinking, wait, Shadowcat? I've never seen her with a dragon, so I just assumed it was like an obscure run where she's like a dragon woman.
It's not like a Game of Thrones dragon. It's literally like it's like a Pokemon dragon.
Yeah,
like Mushu from Mulan.
Yeah. It's literally like a tiny dragon. Yeah.
Okay.
Also, Wolverine says, if you're telling me I have to pick between the last 4 slots being Wolverine, Jean, Cyclops, and Nightcrawler, or Wolverine, Cyclops, or Jean, Uncle Ben, and Strange, I'm gonna say the latter is far more interesting in terms of variety. I think they're just
Uncle Ben.
Yeah, I don't know.
Uncle Ben.
Okay, got it.
No, he said Uncle. Yeah, he said Uncle Ben. So
he must mean Ben Grimm.
I think he's funny saying he's willing to take a character just because it might mean like more variety in terms of like, okay, there's a character we haven't seen. They have to do something interesting with. It's very possible.
Okay.
I'm sure he could have.
I think it is difficult because Charlie brings up a lot of points. Like when I was saying I want the game to show the Marvel universe, something like Charlie not knowing that Shadowcat had a dragon is cool. Is it better than him having Psylocke? I don't know. That's up to Charlie to decide, isn't it? Would Charlie rather have Psylocke that he knows, or be 100%. Like, that's cool that this Shadowcat's got a pet dragon and that's canon?
But to be honest, like Psylocke though is like, you know, the arguments you're making about legacy and why put in legacy sometimes for the sake is like kind of that, but it's just that obviously Psylocke has become more popular thanks to Marvel Rivals. Marvel Rivals, but if you put Psylocke into Marvel Rivals, right, a lot of for the most part, you should be like, why are you putting this character into the game? But they put the character into the game, marketed her correctly, designed her correctly, and then now she's a popular character. I don't think that. I honestly think Marvel 2 has very little, or the previous games have very little to do with her popularity. Do you know what I'm saying?
Possibly. Even if I grant all of that, and I'm fine with granting all of that, the reason why I think that Psylocke gets a spot is because, it's an anime take on Marvel. You have a Japanese character who is a ninja/samurai who is hot, right? And on top of that, it's being designed by the people who are behind characters like fucking Chip Zanoff and Nagoriyuki or whatever, like other anime. It's like the perfect relationship and blend of this character that already fits like the whole history and development philosophy of this company. That I actually think it's such a give me. It's such a obvious slot that to me Psylocke is as much in there for sure as Wolverine is to me. Because it ticks too many boxes, on not to mention like the booba factor and all of the, you know what I mean, like the sex appeal, all of that, right? Even if you take away all of that, it's like, come on, Arxis, Japanese ninja character in a Marvel game that is animeified. Like, why would you not have Psylocke? You know what I mean?
Chat is saying, does he know?
He's spitting.
Does that?
Yeah.
Do I know?
Yeah, they're just.
Do I know what?
They're
Oh,
just
that
saying
she's not Japanese. I know she's got like different. There's like different Psylocks, and there's one that's like a white woman or something. And then is that what they're talking about?
because Betsy Braddock initially is just English
Yeah,
in it, and then she's in
yeah.
the body of a
Like something like that. Yeah.
yeah.
It's just basically Captain America, and then Falcon gets the Captain America mantle. It's like that kind of.
Right. But
Jerome,
like,
Jerome say Mexican.
but I'm correct that isn't there at least one iteration where she is Japanese or something related to or Asian of some kind? I have no idea.
Yeah,
there
the
is a
actual body, the body is Asian, and then the mind and the soul is like
Okay.
is English.
Just
and
some
then,
Ghost in the Shell shit. It's Scarlett Johansson from Ghost in the Shell movie.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, it's definitely yeah. There's, I mean, listen, some strong. I like the Chip Zenith. Yeah, I mean, you obviously we've given you some time to think about this one, and you come back with a strong case. You know what I mean? We had you in jail, and this guy's been reading. He's been reading law books in jail. Now he's come out and he's representing himself.
Funny.
I hear it.
I joined the 5%ers and shit.
Yeah.
I've been saying this, man. You know, but I could be wrong though. But yeah, to me, like those are the reasons why I would say she's just as much of a given as Wolverine. But
I'd love to see her
if
in
I'm
the
wrong,
game.
then
No, I'd love to see her in there. I mean, but I would also love to just see. I would love to see just characters I haven't seen or I've seen less often to be in the game. Do you know what I'm saying?
Same.
I'd like to see, like, if you're gonna put Gambit back in the game after actually being absent for a little while, or at least for a game, well, 2 games now.
Yeah.
It would be interesting to see what they do with a character like Gambit. I don't think it would just be like what they did in sort of the X-Men versus Street Fighter and all the other games, right? I think you would actually be more interested in a game like this, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've come from the angle that I just want cool concepts. I want to see a character
functions. Low key.
That's literally my priority. So when I was talking about the Sentry thing to Charlie, it's like Sentry as a character to me is kind of meh. He's the Superman analog. The only thing that makes him different to like Superman is the Void part, and I think putting the Void as part of the character in the game is interesting. So I want Sentry more because of the interesting mechanics they can make from him, more than him being interested himself, like as a character. He's very bored. He's yellow Superman.
So Darky Diz says
He used to be a crackhead, right?
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, he did used to be a crackhead pretty much. But just sorry, Kai, and it was just Darky Diz says it would be nice if they actually thought about the roster and it wasn't just begging MCU or Marvel vs. Capcom rosters. So I agree, but I think this is the unfortunate like reality of us being from 2010, 2011, having anything Marvel related, right, in games, is that they're going to be heavily mandated and dictated by the MCU or by Legacy. Legacy, I think, is a crutch that they don't have to really bother with. But I'm sure people, for them, I'm sure they were thinking it's going to be an easy way to sort of acclimatize or at least gateway drug like the previous gamers into the new one by saying, here's some guys that you recognize from before and you probably played. Here's also a bunch of guys that you haven't played, right, but are quite interesting. Oh, look, you got Taskmaster. Okay, you don't like Taskmaster? Well, here's MODOK, bro. He just flies in the sky for as long as he wants. He puts on Doritos that you can't get past. Like, that's cool. Do you know what I mean? Like, here's X-23. Like, what, you don't like the Mexican girl? All right, cool. Here's fucking Deadpool. Everyone loves Deadpool. You can't even lie to me and say you don't like Deadpool. Oh, you're one of the fucking, like, 0.0001% that don't like Deadpool? Well, here's the Dread fucking Dormammu, bruv. You don't like him? There's Doctor Strange. You know what I mean? But at least once you have that as a foundation, then you can go from there. But I consider the necessity of at least the Marvel vs. Capcom Legacy characters being what they start with. But yeah, they shouldn't lean too heavily into it. They should only really use a handful of them. I can sort of agree, even though we'd all love our favorite characters to come back. So I can't really sort of fault anyone saying I want my character back, right? Everyone's gonna want their character back. But as far as like some of the MCU stuff, yeah, we can't really get around it. I think it's always gonna kind of be there.
Especially with X-Men on the horizon, right? Like we don't know when that's coming, but we know it's being moved towards, the MCU X-Men. So, exactly. But I think what's going to end up happening, or what should happen, is it just has to be a careful balance of what C4 is looking for, or what we're all looking for, which is more unique takes on characters, and like a balance between that and popular characters that are going to bring people, like get people interested anyway, right? Like. It just has to be a marriage between the two.
I agree.
I've got breaking news. I totally forgot. I got told this. So earlier, Charlie asked me like if I got any like inside scoops, and I was like, oh, The only thing I can remember, or the only thing they could tell me was the base roster is going to be about 20 to 24, probably. That's from the answer set. The
Okay.
other thing that I can't believe I forgot it is we was talking about characters to try and like entice him to like slip up, and I mentioned Thanos, and he went, I don't think they're going to put Thanos in. I was like, okay, why not Thanos? He said that's not the timeline they're focusing on.
Interesting.
So yeah, because I think it came from talking about Miss Marvel, and I was like, oh, you're trying to, Miss Marvel's kind of like a rebrand because there's already a Miss Marvel. That's the Carol one, and then they've given, and it's not a mantle pass down. It's a different character, totally different character. And they were like, yeah, like we couldn't. He said, I don't think they were gonna do Miss Marvel versus Thanos because that's not the timeline they're going for. And I was thinking, I was like, I don't think Miss Marvel's ever fought Thanos in the comics. I'm pretty like this Miss Marvel, the Kamala Khan one. I don't think they've crossed paths. And I was thinking about it, I was like, oh, yeah, the Miss Marvel kind of timeline hasn't got Thanos. He was saying like Thanos is too old. So they probably won't have Thanos.
So it's kind of partly what Darky Diz was saying, right? Is that they're going to probably focus on the more recent other MCU.
Yeah, so yeah, Robbie Reyes, Kamala Khan. So yeah, characters like Thanos probably won't be in there. And I don't know what else. I'd have to go back and think like, okay, what other characters haven't interacted with like the new generation of characters?
Yeah, I can see
What's that?
Wait, but if Thanos is not there because he's too old, then I think that would also just mean characters that played an important role during the Thanos storyline. So things like Loki, and that might, and it depends how far we read into that, because that could also mean Thor and like a lot of Avengers.
It could also mean that like if he's saying that like Thanos is too old, isn't too old of a big bad threat, like, and they're more looking towards more recent ones, then it could be more recent comics events. It could be like a AVX, or it could be a whatever's coming now. It could be Kang.
I think it's more.
They could have honestly, considering this game is only just like coming out now, and it's probably been in the planning stage for God knows how long. This game was in fact rumored like however many years ago, and I don't know about you guys, but I didn't believe that shit for 1 second. I thought this is the most biggest this is extra large waffle, bro, with waffle syrup, bro. They ground down, they liquefied the waffle, like, and then I saw that, and I was like, okay, well, if that's what they're planning, now looking back at it retroactively, I mean, Kang was still very much a character that they were focusing on before they pivoted. Did they have time to pivot that in terms of the game? Maybe not. Or maybe they didn't care enough and they just said, just leave him in there. So it's very possible that they could be doing that. And if that's the case, right, then you could say that, honestly, like, that probably means that Fantastic Four's coming back, boys. I'm telling you, it's happening in the base roster. Let's go.
Full circle.
Let's go.
I don't think the MCU.
Circle of life over here.
I don't feel there's any reference in Tokon to the MCU.
I think you're kind of no. I'll tell you what. Just before I let you go as well, I think the Robbie Reyes thing is actually a really good starting sign, because of the fact that, as far as I know, he doesn't exist in the MCU, right? It's all just Blaze. I think even Daniel Ketch, I don't think he even existed in the MCU, right? So I think it's just been Blaze.
I think it was in Shields.
Okay.
I can't remember what Ghost Rider was in Shields. Chat might know.
And Darky did say Reed Richards would be sick. See, there you go. So we've got one Reed Richards fan out of the entire chat and the panel. So that's there you go. There's a Reed Richards fan right there.
Has anyone mentioned anything about? I mean, this is a slight topic change, but has anyone mentioned anything about an English voice cast? Because so far it's just been Japanese. We ain't heard no Shield Slash, no nothing. Like, what's going on with that?
That's a good.
And would you like that? If it turned out that it was only a Japanese voice dub, would that be? How would you feel about that?
Brexit, bro. Give me my English. Give me my English.
Yeah, I'll be looking for a mod.
Yeah, exactly.
You're looking for a mod,
bro. Listen, man. I hear it, innit? Weebify your thing. Wait, but Thing had English though, right? Strive. Does Strive have English? English voices?
Yeah, Strive's English.
Okay, yeah.
Brexit.
Brexit, bruv. Like, I'm trying to hear Captain America speak American, bruv. Trying to hear Captain Britain speak British. You know what I mean?
I know the whole thing with Evo happened where they were like, yeah, we want English comms in a French tournament, but yeah, it's If it's a comic, a Western comic with Captain America, and you're not speaking English, you're kind of throwing, bro. You're kind of throwing. That's kind of silly.
Self-sabotage.
Nah, you can give me the freedom Death
I'll be
Suit and all of that. Yeah, you can give me that later, man.
I'll be shocked if they don't add it.
I think they'll add it. But I hear you, because no one's really. I haven't heard many people actually protest, which is surprising to me. You know what I'm saying? Because I definitely want that shit. You know what I'm saying? But no, it's it's a Mankind knew they couldn't change the dub, so they blamed the weebs.
I do. I always blame the weebs, bro.
Yeah, man.
Always.
So
they ruin everything. As a Shroud commentator, trust me, they do.
He also Doug has also said that Wolverine was in every game because he was the guy. He was like top 3 Marvel characters, even in comic books in general, pre-MCU, next to Batman and Spider-Man in terms of popularity. You're crazy not to have him in Marvel games back then, which is very true. Would you still say that's true now to you guys, just real quick?
I think so, and I 1,000,000% yes, and like even just Deadpool, Wolverine, like the fact that people still want to see Hugh. Some people still want Hugh Jackman to be the Wolverine in the MCU Wolverine. That's how much they. Well, I don't know. Maybe that's them liking Hugh Jackman, but I think that the fact that Wolverine still does well, or even the fact that like even the trash Wolverine movie still did really well, right? Like consistently.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe that's a Hugh Jackman thing. I'm not
But
sure.
do you know what?
Wolverine's on some make-believe fucking platform, bro. He's not that. Spider-Man, from my knowledge, has been in every Marvel game. Wolverine's missed some.
Yeah. That's correct. That is correct.
Yeah, there's only space for one superhero on that pedestal of like he's the consistency in the game. That's Spider-Man. They've already got him. You don't need Wolverine.
Wolverine and Magneto have both missed like 2 games, I think, respectively, and then.
But I think I just think that Spider-Man, you're right. He's definitely like more global appeal, popularity. I just think Wolverine's like just maybe a tier, like 1 tier below, but he's still very big. Like, I agree, and I don't think he shouldn't be in the game because he's not on the same tier as Spider-Man. Like
he's the first loser then. If he's second tier, he's the first loser.
Despite how insanely popular Wolverine is, insanely popular Spider-Man is. Even in spite of what we're gonna say about ourselves, I think Spider-Man is also hard carried by like under 13s, like 13 and unders. Like kids absolutely love him. Like Spider-Man or Sonic is like every time like I talk to someone, I say Spider-Man or Sonic, and they'll give me an answer. Like to parents, they'll just say, "Yeah, oh yeah, he really likes Spider-Man," or "Yeah, he's really got into Sonic recently." Do you know what I mean?
I honestly think the Wolverine. I get it. Wolverine is kind of cool, and I think we have to accept that he's been knocked down the pedestal of importance a lot. And you could say maybe Infinite helped that by not putting him in. But I would think it's way more weird for a Marvel game to not have Captain America, Iron Man, Spider-Man. Those 3 seem.
I would just throw Wolverine. I think I would give you that sentence if it had Wolverine in there. I don't see how Wolverine can be left out in that. I mean, I know he wasn't in Infinite, but I feel like that's more so an anomaly.
Yeah, that was a whole X-Men thing. I get that. I just think people pretend. Sorry, actually, no, I'm not sorry. People actually pretend to like X-Men. That's what I think it is.
Where's this coming from?
What
do you mean?
What's all this?
How so? Elaborate, my friend.
People, the fact that the X-Men weren't in MVCI made people like they're tourists. They're X-Men tourists. They're just mad that they didn't get X-Men in the game. They didn't care about X-Men. That's what I'm saying. I'm telling you.
But how can you distinguish? How can you distinguish what the real reason was?
Because Combo Fiend said functions and he was right, and no one wants to believe it. They like Magneto as the function. No one cares about Magneto.
Nah, do you know what? Okay.
His last name. No one ain't knowing his last name, bro. No one don't know Eric's last name.
Lenshaw, yeah, Eric Lenshaw.
Yeah, Mankind. I know Chronos, and he can't pronounce it. That's how I know these tourists don't really like Magneto like that. They heard Yipes, they saw Yipes play him, and talk about this curly mustache, and they were like, "Yeah, I'm a Magneto fan." You're not a Magneto fan.
You want me to say it in Hebrew or something? Not what am I supposed to put an extra sauce on it? What am I supposed to do? Like, it's Eric Lenshaw, bro.
Tourist. Gambit, I will allow Gambit. Gambit has fans. People really like Gambit. People don't like the fact that he didn't have X-Men and Wolverine and Magneto were what they clinged onto, and Storm, because they were in previous ones. They didn't really like X-Men.
All right, C4, you know what? I'll both agree and disagree with you in the sense that maybe a handful of these specific X-Men characters, maybe people care about less these days than they would have before. But I think they care more about X-Men, the group and the brand, than maybe some of these individual characters. So I think if you tell us that X-Men are in the game, people will care. Maybe Magneto specifically, maybe not. Wolverine. Yeah, Wolverine.
Put Gambit in the game, no one's talking about Wolverine.
Yeah, no, I hear that. I hear that.
Wait, what did you say? What? Put Gambit in what? And what?
If you put Gambit in the game, no one isn't going to cry about Wolverine not being there. Because they want an X-Men.
Really?
Low key, I agree with him. Low key.
Wait, how? I don't...
Because people pretend to like Wolverine. Gambit's cooler than Wolverine, and Gambit's not been in the game for a while. They just want an X-Men stand-in. And I think Gambit does a better stand-in for X-Men this current generation than Wolverine does.
But I feel like you're saying that because he's just like aesthetically cooler. But in terms of like actual pop culture and how often we see both characters, Wolverine is at the forefront over Gambit. Like we only recently saw Gambit in the recent what movie was it? The what was it? The one with
Wolverine.
Channing Tatum. Yeah, Deadpool fucking Wolverine, right? In the title.
I made it for myself. Yeah. That's me. That's pop culture. Same with Deadpool. Deadpool carries Wolverine in Wolverine and Deadpool.
I don't think you can say it carries it. I feel like Deadpool Wolverine is like, it's one of those rare cases where it's like it was truly the combined might of both of those characters being together that made the film so big. I don't think we can say one way or the other that Wolverine or Deadpool pulled the film more so than the other character. And I think it will be too hard to quantify. Like all we know is that the movie made all the money in the world.
Also, by the way, if he did say before,
make a tweet, make a poll tweet, please. Make a poll tweet.
Yeah. All right.
Cool. If you could only have one, who would you rather have, Wolverine or Gambit? I think that would be important.
I'll do it right now.
Yeah.
If you could only have one, I would also take Gambit over Wolverine because I just think he leads to more interesting gameplay, and we've seen Gambit a lot less than Wolverine. But I don't think therefore that means Wolverine is actually not that popular or people don't like Wolverine. I just think that given that scenario, a person is more likely to pick Wolverine, especially if they're really into fighting games and they followed the FGC and they want a bit more variety, right? Like I think if the answer is Gambit to that poll, that answer would be more of an admission of what I just described in terms of like design and rather than popularity or who cares about the character more.
I think it's indicative of both, because I think there's a lot of fight game players that play their character regardless of if they're bad or good, just because they like the character. If you're talking about like pop culture, I would argue, I think Wolverine is more ingrained in people's minds, but Gambit has a meme. Wolverine doesn't have a meme.
Wait, which meme is Gambit?
I'm gonna make a name for myself. That's the thing. Yeah. So I understand what you're saying. Like I said, Wolverine is ingrained in X-Men. It's very hard to talk about X-Men without Wolverine, even though he wasn't base roster X-Men. He wasn't in the first group. He surpassed that. He's his own thing now. He's his own thing. It's Wolverine, and then it's like, Wolverine is part of the X-Men. It's not like Wolverine
Wait, Talkin just mentioned the photo frame meme with Wolverine stroking the photo, and then they replace it with with something that he's that's more of a classic meme.
That is a classic meme. Fair. That is fair. That is an old meme though. That is an old meme.
It's infinite. It's always used.
I think
but like the Wolverine one is.
I will specifically. I will. The thing that I say that I specifically agreed with was the if you put Gambit in the game, I think less people will be like, man, where's Wolverine? Because of the fact that as far as fighting games go, he is a very popular character and very like beloved character. But if you're saying that overall in terms of Wolverine's still massively popular, don't get me wrong. He's still a massively popular character. I still do think that.
Yeah. Again, I just think going back to what I said like earlier, I think the Wolverine conversation is almost like meaningless because he's in there. He's most likely going to be in there because he's either Ryu or he's either Ken. And so like I guess for the sake of like exploration, like what if he wasn't in the game? What would the universe be like, right? I guess it's interesting to explore, but he's such a almost guarantee that it's almost like I think it's almost a waste of breath to question whether he will be in there or not, because it's just such a like 99.8% guarantee.
Did a man
After this
say?
convo, I want him in there less.
Wait, did a man say who would you rather have in Marvel Tokon? Yeah, Wolverine, Sentinel, Gambit, or David Letterman? He did that.
Wait, who said that?
Who posted that poll? That poll, I just saw that flash up on my chat.
Damn.
That
Oh, I
was
didn't see it.
Yeah.
Low-key, I think I'd rather have Sentinel than Wolverine. Low-key.
I mean, Sentinel in like Children of Atom as well as Marvel 2 is a very sick character in terms of like how different he is to everyone else. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, also he lost a whole bunch of animations between Children of Atom to 3. He looked a lot cooler. Same thing with kind of Spiral as well. To be fair, Spiral was like, I mean, not even a different character, but a like more fleshed out character between those two games, and had some really cool shit. So if you go back,
No, sorry. I just Charlie triggered something deep inside me where I'm like, bro, Wolverine's actually not that cool. And I'm like,
no.
I think you could put Morph on that list, and people would rather have Morph than fucking Wolverine.
all right, now you're hating. Now you're hating.
Okay, there ain't no way
But
you
the
think
thing is,
Wolverine.
More spent
but-
about 10, like, bro, the first like what 2 seasons or 1 season like he spent in like ICU, bro, in A&E. Like, just he was on a hospital bed, and then that was basically it. Like, and he went crazy. Like,
You say that. What's Wolverine without saying this one's for you, Morph? He ain't nothing, bro. This one's for you. Who?
so this one's just for nobody, for yourself.
the thing is, the irony is that like when you say that, right? When you say there are a bunch of characters that people would rather have over Wolverine, it actually gives the whole concept of Wolverine strength, because he will still be in the game despite that reality. I can concede that there are dozens of characters that would be more interesting to put, but Wolverine's still going to be in there. The same way that if Street Fighter 7 comes out, there's probably a lot of characters that people would rather play or rather be interested in looking at on screen over Ryu, but Ryu's going to be in the game. Same with Ken, right? So it's just like it's one of those situations where like legacy wise, like the character and honestly, I think that it behooves them to, like, we already know that they're going to lean in legacy to some regard, but it's important to have legacy because legacy is something that other companies these days would sacrifice multiple newborn children to achieve. Like, it's not easy to have, not everybody can say they have a character that transcends space and time almost, where 50 years from now, Wolverine, Spider-Man, Ryu, Goku, there are certain characters that are intertwined with human pop culture. And to not put a character that represents, like, one of Marvel's characters that does that is Wolverine. So you just have to, it would be foolish to not have that character because some people would kill and murder and pillage villages to be able to have a character that has that kind of IP recognition as Wolverine.
I agree, but to go back to harken back on what we said earlier about if everyone's super, no one is. You've already got the Ryu Ken. That's Iron Man and Captain America. And then you can have, I don't know, who else would be on that? Spider-Man is like, I don't know, Bison. They're the 3 core. Wolverine he's the first loser.
Wolverine's in
That's
the
what
core.
he is.
No,
He is just
I feel like
outside
Wolverine's
of everything.
in that core. Wolverine's definitely in that core.
He's not. He wasn't in every game. That's not legacy.
You don't
Legacy,
see,
you
but
have
the only one,
I respect the hate.
the only one is Marvel
consistent
Infinite.
hate here, like for C4, man. This is very.
The
This is a
only
level
one
of
is
hater
Infinite,
that
right?
I've not seen in a while, man.
Yeah, the only one is Infinite, but that's still one. That's one less. That's one less than Spider-Man, Captain Iron Man. They are the core.
That one less is doing some mighty heavy lifting. Like, he missed that one game that people didn't really jive with anyway. I mean, for the most part, right? Like, so therefore I don't know. That's a rough one.
But if you're going to give him the Ryu mantle, which I can understand, until Infinite, I would have given him that. But Ryu's hasn't been in a non-Street Fighter. Sorry, Ryu's not been left out of a Street Fighter game.
Yeah,
He's in every Street Fighter game.
Sure, but he might not be Ryu, but maybe he's, I don't know, whatever, Ryu's evil twin cousin, like Diego Urin Suarez. Like, I don't know who he is. He's someone important, bro. I don't know.
He's important.
He just. Mhm.
He's important. It's just not that important.
Shout
I
out
do
to
agree with
Spartan
you.
Throne, by the way. Yeah.
They're probably going to put him in. They shouldn't.
No.
Actually,
They're gonna put him in. It's not about they will put him in. They're putting him in.
I believe in Daisuke. I believe in the vision. I just want to put him in there. I'm actually convinced. Thank you, Charlie. You both of my eyes.
And wait, no. And Hado Shrooms is right. Hado Shrooms just said Wolverine was only left out of Infinite because there was no X-Men, which is true. Right? It's not that Wolverine. It's not that Wolverine was deleted. The fact that
they were asking him out. Yeah.
So that wouldn't be fair to be like, oh, Wolverine. So he's not even in Marvel Infinite. Well, nobody was X-Men wise.
Nah.
It's not that important then. I don't know what to tell you. So
listen, this is like for those who are playing Hades 2, the Nemesis in Hades 2 levels of hating, like just number one hater.
Yeah, true.
It's just a number. Anytime he hears Wolverine's name, just know. Like I was, do you know what it is? It was the equivalent of like, okay, well, let's not say just dictate like worst person you know, right? Having a great point. He started off with like, if they put like Gambit in the game, maybe no one even care about Wolverine. I was like, yeah, and then he just kept going. I was like, ooh. I don't know now, boy.
The whole
James is cool. James Howlett. Let me put some respect on his name. Lives up the government. James Howlett is cool. James Howlett is cool, but his pedestal isn't there. It just isn't. He's close to it. He's close to it, kind of, because, like you said, there is a lot more X-Men that people would want over Wolverine.
I think,
he's not that interested in the fighting game. He's just a hack and slash character, bro. Cool.
But I tell you what. No, but I tell you what, though. No matter what happens, this is kind of the Arxis effect. Is that I'm willing for them to even put in a tried and tested character into this game because of the fact that I think they'll put a spin on it that will be original, and I'd be willing for them to do the same old character just for them to not do the same old thing. Like I think maybe Spider-Man is a little bit too close to what I'm saying because I actually think Spider-Man just feels like a more fun version of like what I played as in the other games, like for Spider-Man goes. Mm-hmm. But I think for the others, they are just going in these wild and different directions. Like Storm, I was like, this is sacrilege. You can't make Storm without Tridash, and you're just giving her command grabs. What the fuck is this nonsense? Like, but then you're giving her some Rachel Alucard spin, and it's sick. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm willing to see them put these characters in and give them something cool. And I mean, Spartan Throne, shout out to Spartan Throne in the chat. Obviously, he's going to be caping for Wolverine, but it actually makes sense as well. Like, it's always going to, that character's going to be in there. And he says Gambit's nobody compares to Wolverine in comics, which is true.
Would you?
No, in comic circles, I can agree with him. Like, generally,
you can't agree. That's just not true.
Nah, I agree with him. Like, it really, like, in terms of the big boys in comics, man, it's like Spider-Man, Wolverine. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't really.
Yeah, in comics, true. Yeah.
Stories, yeah. Stories, yeah. Sorry, I thought you meant like in being interesting.
What, in terms of being interested? No. In terms of being interested, no, definitely. Like, Gambit would be a more interesting character, but like Wolverine, but it's only because we've been so exposed. And because we've been so exposed to Wolverine and his stories, like you're just gonna be so sort of desensitized to him. It's like when I got burnt out. Like I would be reading so much X-Men, I'd get burnt out, and then I'd be like, oh, God, like I can't even look at X-Men for like a good year, 2 years. And I'm like, let me just go and check some other stuff and then come back to this later. But you do eventually come back because characters popular, characters.
All I know is
sick. You know what I'm saying?
I've got the DMs. I told Chrome at Evo France I'm going to be brand nosing. I got the Twitter of the Battle Direct guy.
Yeah.
I did. I'm going to find out how to speak whatever language he speaks. Mandarin, I don't know. I'm going to tell him Beast is way more interesting than Wolverine. Please don't put Wolverine in there, bro.
Mandarin. We'll go pause that. Don't worry. Mandarin. But yeah, look, I definitely, like we're saying, and I think the Robbie Reyes thing is a good start. The Kamala Khan, I mean, she's got her own TV show, so it's kind of half and half. But definitely, like, we could, maybe they'll go somewhere a lot more interesting with some of these other characters, or at least like some of the picks. Do you know what I'm saying? So there's still hope. Oh,
Infinoco says he wants. I want Cyclops in there too. Unfortunately, I think Cyclops might be a bit more on the dry side. You think it will get Cyclops? I would love to be wrong, but
I think he gets.
I don't know, man.
I think if you're gonna get Wolverine, I think the same way you remember you even saying like if one's Ken, one's Ryu. I think it's like if you're gonna go X-Men, those guys are kind of givens. Like it's gonna happen. It's just a case of now how interesting you're gonna make those characters. And I think you can make them interesting. Again, right? It's like if you were to say on paper in Marvel 3, yo, we're gonna put in like She-Hulk, you'd be like, bro, nah. All right. If they said yes or no, yay or nay, a lot of people, most people would be like, no, there's no way you're putting that character in the game, right? That's a waste of a slot. And she ends up being like a sick character in terms of like how she was designed. Like maybe not nowadays, she's not really even used, but at the start she was used loads because of the fact that people didn't really know how to play the game so well, and they just relied on their fundamentals in terms of like playing traditional fighters. Like they just started doing proper like just spacing and footsies, and they just used her like a footsie character and didn't even utilize a lot of like the sort of other tools, but they just knew what to do with her because it just felt natural. So it kind of worked out.
Spartan Pro says, every time I see the word Luke Cage, I just see laughing emojis over that name. That's all I see, bro. That character is not making it.
Guys,
Luke Cage, no chance.
Bro, I see.
But
I
like
see
you said,
enough
right?
Luke
Like
Cages
it
in.
all
Like you
comes
said, Streatham. I've seen enough Luke Cages in Hackney, bro, just walking about.
straight
So,
down.
yeah.
But like you said, it all comes down to implementation, right? Like even the Dryas character could have a version that's actually quite interesting. But yeah, Luke Cage, I'm not. No.
And yeah, so that's
So
why when you're talking defenders, it's like, yeah, if we're gonna do the whole four gimmick of fours, then yeah, that's gonna be the monkey's paw that I'm talking about, boy. You're gonna end up with Luke Cage. I was about all of that. Like you could even put Iron Fist back in, and I think you can make Iron Fist sick in a game like this, to be honest with you. So like I wouldn't be opposed to it. You know what I'm saying? Say big up Capcom for giving some of these man power boosts, says Darky does, and yeah, I hear it. It's definitely like oh, and also Infi way back when he said by the way, like Magneto did have like sort of magnetic powers and moves where he had like shrapnel floating about and shit back in I think Children of the Atom, or one of the earlier ones. He had powers that involved metal more, and also technically Magnetic Tempest is like little purple, like the purple popcorn is supposed to be like sort of metal. So I guess those
Give
two
this guy
things.
a gold medal, bruv. The gymnastics, the Olympic level gymnastics he's trying to do to convince people that little bits of purple on screen are metal fragments. I see.
Listen, when I grow up, I want to hate just like you, bruv, as well as you, because
it's funny.
this is Olympic level
Wait,
hate.
speaking of hate, I feel like we need to transition into C4's rabid hatred for, or newfound rabid hatred for 2XKO. I need to hear a bit more about what's going on there, because we have rinsed Tokon, and I'm curious to hear a bit more about that.
Take it away.
I could do that. I could do that pretty quick. So playing the game, it was cool. I found out early on that I wanted to play solo Alawi, and I understand the drawbacks of playing a solo character in the tag game, but I think they did a good job making Juggernaut Fuse a reasonable option against duos. The push block hits both of them, where in every other fuse, the push block only pushes away the point character. So what would happen is you'd push the point character away, and then they'll just handshake tag into the character that didn't get pushed away and continue the pressure. Juggernaut push both of them. You also got the Fury thing, which is kind of like X Factor. Every fuse gets it when they lose one character, but because you're in Juggernaut, you only have one. They nerfed that. They made it so every round it doesn't regen. So you start off where you left the last round with your Fury burst, which is dumb because as a solo player going up against two, Fury is the only thing that allows me to equal the damage out because you've got assists. I don't. So I can't extend my combos as much as you do. And he also nerfed Alawi. Where Alawi was only good she's good, but her primary factor is she's a really good assist. So they nerfed two things that no one complained about. No one complained about Alawi, and to that degree, not more than Yasuo and Echo and them lot. And no one, not a single soul in this cosmos said, "Oh, Juggernaut's too strong," and they nerfed Juggernaut, literally to the point where it's unplayable. And I spoke to the devs, and they were like, "Yeah, but we only really made that mode kind of for like beginners." I was like, "Cool, then you nerfed me out of the game. I would have asked for a refund, but your game was free. But yeah, this game's dead."
Yeah, I don't know if that was a good approach for them to say it was just for beginners, because I don't think that's ever been a reason why anyone really ever puts a solo mode. It's more about the sort of flexibility factor of like you could argue that yes, you put a solo mode in a game that requires like it's either for duos or trios or whatever, right? Like a Skullgirls, a Tekken, right? That you could say, oh, it's because this person knows one character but doesn't know two characters. But I would say it's more of a preference for them to just play the solo character and not interact with the mechanics as much than a new player who then is going to learn the game and say, hey, actually, now that I know how to play the game, I actually only want to play it in the way that you're advertising it. Well, if you've got the other one there, then you should leave it there. Like you should have it be viable. They should all be viable. Because that's kind of one of the beauties of that game is that, like, listen, I've heard MVCI's gem system be compared to Grooves, which I think is a disrespect to Grooves personally. I don't think people are intentionally being disrespectful to Grooves, but the reason why I say that is because it's kind of night and day in terms of depth. Like, I think there's far more depth in Grooves than there were in Gems. And I think this is probably the closest thing I've seen in a while to Grooves. Is it as deep as Grooves as well? It's getting there. It's getting there. I think that definitely in terms of all of these different fuses, they all do things that are strong that the other fuses can't do. And I think that's a really, really, really good aspect of the game. So to lean onto that, you should continue to focus on making them all good. I think they'll probably walk that back, to be honest with you. I think that's odd for them to say that out. I'm happy that they're truthful, right? Because some people might have even interpreted that, and people will never know. So sometimes it's good for these guys to come out in the open and just say, "Boom, this is what we think about it." But if it's there and it's going to be there for the next like 8 years because this is how long, or 10 years, or forever, basically, right? Then I can't see in that time that this thing is just going to remain being nerfed and then just not be useful at all. It will only just be marginally useful.
I reckon they're a bit afraid as well, right? Because the issue with a game like League, which is free to play, and a mode like Juggernaut being strong enough to the point where a decent amount of the player base use it, is that you have less characters on screen, and when you have less characters on screen, that's less costumes that are being shown during the game, and less costumes being shown means less likelihood that somebody buys those costumes. And honestly, I would not be surprised if they don't think of it in this way. Even some games like when they do loading screens, right? Like in Diablo 4, when there's a loading screen, you see your character, you see your pet, you see your mount, and you see the cosmetics that you have on your character. And sometimes like the clever choice of, rather than having a black loading screen or just a screen that gives you a tip about a game, use your magic to kill monsters, right? There's some generic information. They'll just show you a cosmetic because it lets the player feel more connected to what they've purchased and therefore may lead to more sales, right? So I think that might be what one of their fears is with Juggernaut. Like what then happens if we have a mode where there's only 1v1 versus potentially 2v2, which is like literally double the amount of characters we're seeing on screen.
No, I actually think that's a very strong point. Yeah, I could, like, it might sound cynical to people, but I could definitely think that maybe they just said, hey, listen, remember that one of the things, and it might not even necessarily be like just that they're being mandated, hey, this is what you should be doing, right? Sell those costumes. It could also be like, hey, remember, the more these costumes sell, the more you have to work with in terms of budget to continue developing this game. And so then it creates like this sort of Damocles that you don't have to remind people of, that just is hanging over their heads, that they have to actually work around anyway. So maybe they're just kind of like thinking, remember, actually, this needs to be kind of at the forefront, because this is how we're going to be, people are going to be continuing to get whatever characters and whatever content. So I think that's a fair point to bring up for sure. But I just think that in general, like you're saying, right, it's like, if you how much of the game's integrity are you willing to jeopardize if that's your mode of thought, which is not to necessarily just say that was 100% their mode of thought, but I definitely think that's a strong possibility, right? They haven't obviously removed Juggernaut, but for sure, if there are people who want to use that thing and they're
sorry, Graham.
Go on.
Sorry, Graham, they have removed it. They've made it so pointless that you might as well pick Psychic. Like legit, like there's no benefit over playing Psychic than Juggernaut. In Psychic, you have more defense as well as a solo. Because you can press buttons
because
to
Juggernaut,
reduce
you're
the
supposed to
damage.
just
But
explode, right? Like you touch someone and they're supposed to explode, right? That's kind of the.
no,
Well,
that's
I
the
mean,
thing. You don't get a
before that
damage
was
boost.
supposed to be it, right? Or at least that's
No,
at least the
no,
idea of it, right? No.
no, no, Crow. No, that's not it. Because in Juggernaut, you don't get a damage increase.
Wait, I thought with thing you. Oh wait, no. What am I thinking of then?
You might be thinking of Fury.
I'm thinking of
So
Fury. I'm thinking of Fury. Thank you.
yeah. So the Fury, you get Fury in every fuse.
No, but I thought it was that you. Oh yeah, no. Okay, I'm thinking of it a different way then. Are you sure it wasn't ever like that in
Yeah.
Alpha Lab as well, like the previous Alpha Labs?
Maybe in the Alpha Labs. I never
Yeah,
played Fury in
because
the
I was
Alpha.
thinking it was the case of like
Yeah.
more health, and it's like, you know, when you touch them, you do a bit extra damage as well to compensate for the fact that
That's what I'm
you shot one
saying.
character.
Petty change, bro. So you can hold your game. It was going to be my Tokon waiting room, but now I'm not even playing that.
So
I'm
what?
playing
Man's just sitting there twiddling his thumbs, bro. You just look at the wall.
I'm playing Bleach, bro.
Massive Bleach. Oh, God bless you, man. That's
Playing
I don't
Bleach.
know what the hell
Bleach
that's
on
about.
my thing.
Also,
Mike's playing it,
oh,
so I'll play that.
all right, okay.
Bro, I refunded that game with the swiftness, boy. That game got eviscerated from my hard drive. Never again.
We were doing so well,
Good
and
move.
then we mentioned Bleach, man. I don't know what's happening there, man.
Bro,
Cheers.
I want to play something until Tokon comes out. I can't really play Infinite anymore because all the Infinite players are playing 2xKO.
2xKO, yeah.
So I'm just playing what people I talk to play. And Mike plays Bleach. Play Bleach. I refunded Tekken. I should have refunded both, but I only refunded Tekken. So I'll probably play that in Dragon Ball. The fact that they're nerfing Juggernaut is, to me, that shows either they're petty or they don't know the direction. Because Psychic is just way better. And if you're forcing me to play in a specific way, your game's not interesting to me. I want to play it in my way, which is Juggernaut. So I could solo people, say, you're trash, go find another hobby, because if you can't beat me with two characters, this ain't for you, kid. But now I can't do that.
So like Infi was saying, yeah, because this is kind of what I was thinking is that I mean, besides Spartan Throne saying 2xKO is actually no, I don't know if I say that, but
You can't
yeah.
dash block either in that game. You can't dash block. Also, terrible movement. Awful. Yeah. Gross.
So they
He said, well, yeah.
said bleh. But now Infi said same thing happened in Skullgirls before they buffed Solo much later, and I could believe that would happen. I could believe that. It'd be weird. I think maybe who knows how much they might respond to actual sort of feedback and criticism. Because I mean, well, listen, if they're going to respond to feedback and criticism in this game, then you know we've seen some of the responses here from some of the casual or even new players. Let's say the newbie players, is that they're like, bro, this game shit. Like, what the hell? Why am I just getting? Why is this guy spamming backdash? Why is it, you know, blah, 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 this is happening, like, this much damage, I'm getting hit with this much damage and getting killed. Like, the game seems quite brutal for the newbies, despite the fact that it had the accessible approach to it, at least in terms of
I have two questions about the game.
Yeah.
First one is currently what is generally considered to be the strongest groove or fuse? And secondly, I was following the game development somewhat closely, but I seem to have missed, like, did they ever talk about their reasoning behind not having the motion inputs even as an option? Like, I'm curious what their reasoning was, because when I played the game, I actually forgot that. Like, I spent the first 10 minutes looking for the option in the menu, like where to put on or to activate motion inputs, because I thought for sure that it was an option, but then I realized it's not even an option. So, like, have they actually mentioned that, or what's their philosophy?
I don't think I've heard them mention it, but I mean, the answer to the first thing is double down, right? And then, but it's double down in terms of like the way it's being used, which is beam super, tag, do nonsense, right? So,
and is double down like the clear winner? Because I think one interesting thing about C4's issue is that if Juggernaut has been nerfed to the ground, it also doesn't make sense that if there is a clear fuse that is demonstrably much better than the others, especially if that fuse has the most tag team, like the most seeing each character on screen, because then that would give more weight to they just want you to see more characters on screen. If double down is the one that is like clearly head and shoulders above the rest.
Double down that it's getting abused because of the ability to beam super into tag into mix-ups, kind of very MBCI like. I
Mm.
wouldn't. I mean, clearly, like part of that is in design intentional, right? But I don't necessarily think it was because they thought, okay, this is like a better way to maybe sell the outfits, because then you could say really any of the ones other than Juggernaut could have been a winner right there, right? I think maybe it's just because it's early on, it's a very easy to understand and easily accessible high like sort of damage or high sort of potential mix up potential fuse to use. It's hard to me to say is it like the clear winner, but it's like I'd say it's clearly the a very popular one. That one or like freestyle. Like I think freestyle is also like pretty strong, kind of like
Yeah, Infinoko saying freestyle Yasuo Echo is quite strong,
there you
or
go.
the strongest
team in the game. I don't personally think it's that close, says Envy. Although it's closer than it was 2 patches ago, right? So yeah, there's yeah, go on.
I was going to say, what I think is the fuses aren't really dictating the meta. They are a amplifier to what the meta is. So an example is right now, if you see Leffen play, he plays Teemo Yasuo. And the reason the team's strong is because you can do super tag. You can MBCI. You can do a super tag and then do pressure with the other character. They nerfed that with Jinx because Jinx used to be able to do the same thing with a zap zap thing. So I think if the meta is super tag, if you've got a super that has like I don't know a long animation and it puts stuff on screen, double down will be the strength. But outside of that, 2 times assist with Echo is broken. Everyone's moaning about that. Up back, my time. That's what 2 times assist is. You can retreat while covering the whole ground. If you get a hit, you just tag into Echo and you get a full combo. And then freestyle, I think the biggest strength for freestyle is kind of the mix, but it's the fact that you can bait bursts. So you can't bait burst normally because you can't jump cancel and block in time. But with freestyle, you can do a combo tag, and if they burst, you can tag back and block. So I think what the meta is will kind of dictate what the best fuse is at the time. At the moment, it's Teemo super tag, so it's double down. But if Teemo gets nerfed, double down won't be the strongest fuse anymore, in my opinion.
I think that's a good take on it. Actually, I do think that's a good take on it. It's definitely that. Yeah, seen as amplifiers rather than dictators. And yeah, and to be honest, I think right now though the fact that we're sort of mentioning, oh, this is we've sort of had 3 takes right on what are the strongest fuses, and we've sort of had like sort of good cases for all of them. I think that's probably a good sign, right? I mean, as the game fleshes out and gets more characters, maybe it might even be even harder, because if it literally is like that's the one thing I can say about, okay, despite the fact how much praises I heaped upon Grooves, you could say comparatively there were 2 to 3 right out of 6, and that would have been C Groove, K Groove, and then for some A, and maybe for some N, but you know what I mean. So I think they're on the right tracks and the right path, but they do need to do something about maybe Juggernaut and not just see it as a noob fuse and just more see it as this is another way to play the game. And maybe this is because I mean wouldn't that be a good look for your game if like, okay, well this guy is, I don't know, friggin' 2 down and he's decided, you know what, screw it, I'm just going Juggernaut, and I'm just abusing the sort of strength of Juggernaut and then coming back. Maybe for them they'd be like, oh, it's not great to be watching people win tournaments with Juggernaut when they should be winning with 2 characters. But I think
they legit said it was toxic. The developers said it's toxic.
Oh my God. All right.
Literally, and this is maybe a problem of having fighting game players as part of your dev team. I think it triggered me more that they said toxic.
Who said it? Do we know who actually said it?
No names.
It's one of the fighting gamers.
No names.
No names. Or no names.
It's not Marlon Pie. Marlon Pie wasn't at Evo France, so I can say that. One of the people that were Evo France.
He said no names are getting dropped. No names are getting dropped. I hear it.
Yeah, I can't do that. I can't.
I respect it.
Yeah, I don't want him to get flamed. I mean, no one's gonna flame him because hardly anyone played Juggernaut anyway. But yeah, they said that Juggernaut was too toxic because you could Fury Break and then TOD someone, and I was like, mathematically, you should know better, because if I'm Juggernaut and I Fury Break and kill one of your characters, you still got another character.
I mean, a
So
lot of people were saying that double down super or super tag was toxic. People
is
was
it
calling.
not?
I mean, listen, when everything's toxic, nothing is, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, just it's all part of the grime of the game that clearly was intentional. Like, once you allowed shouts to Marlon Pie, but once you allowed Marlon Pie to be designing characters the way that he did, right? Of which I thought everyone, at least when the character first dropped, enjoyed, right? Then it's like you know, the Pandora's box is opened, and I'm glad they opened Pandora's box. Obviously, it needs to be push and pull. You can't just like keep you can't hit terminal velocity and just keep being broken. But you know, you still like just have a bit of an ebb and flow between it. Like I like the fact that they've gone for this type of the types of like look at the types of players that they've had on the team, and all those players are all high level players, very skilled, but also play some real wacky shit. Do you know what I'm saying? Like they'll play it very skillfully, but they'll either play some wacky shit or they'll create some very creative and very grimy shit. Do you know what I'm saying? So
You, you, to full context, it doesn't mean much because it's online, but that's kind of what all we have at the moment because the game's still region locked.
true.
Leffen got top one twice, and he's using Timo Yasso. Both characters are made by Marlon Pie.
Oh, shit. I didn't know he made Timo as well. I thought it was just Yasuo.
I didn't know that either. Shout out to Pie.
Yeah, if you he did the kind of like not the beginner's guide, but the kind of behind the scenes on the character.
Right.
He designed that character. He designed Timo.
Listen, I like Timo's design, so what can I say in it? I can't.
Yeah. The only other character I know was that Apology Man made Echo.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. That actually makes a lot of sense. And I think all of these characters, like again, right? It's once Alpha Lab hit, I was like, wow, they're actually unapologetically gonna make the game like this, which is great. It's great for us anyway. And then like you kind of got the expected response from the new community, the newbie community, which is that they're just like, what the hell is this shit? Like, not even that. Some of them are even saying, oh, the game's like bad, but they're like, what the fuck is this? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of what some of them are saying. Some of them are definitely like slating the game, but that's to be expected, right? Like, if you're gonna come with a vision like this, it's kind of like, okay, we're gonna probably weather the storm, or we're gonna expect there to be flames, right? And then we're gonna tank that, and then we're gonna sort of get our vision out, and then we're gonna just keep developing, and then people will eventually come around to it and enjoy what they're seeing. Also, we're gonna rely on the fact that the conveyor belt of new characters coming out is gonna probably placate some of these guys to some degree, which we'll see. We'll see. I think they probably are gonna kowtow to some of the sort of responses from the general population if they probably see that player numbers start to dwindle, which is just unfortunately one of the facts of life when it comes to making these games. But it would be nice to see them kind of continue in this kind of way. I won't lie, because the game is at least fun. It's fun, well, fun to play and fun to look at. Do you know what I'm saying? But I mean, are they going to go on? Are they going to continue with this, or are they going to go for quote unquote car crash neutral, which is what man like Super Noon said? Are they going to go for that?
Car crash neutral. Yeah.
Did you see that tweet, by the way? I think I posted it in
on the chat.
group chat. Yeah, and it was from.
I saw it, but I didn't know. I saw it on Reddit originally, and I was
Okay.
reading the comments because somebody was like asking, "What does he mean by it?" And then I saw different people translating what he meant, but like there were a lot of different translations, so I wasn't sure what the final takeaway was.
Well,
I can try and
go on.
I can try and do it.
Well, let me say it out first of all, right? Which is the Reddit post is called Super Noon's thoughts on the neutral, and this is in regards to N.K.A. And the Super Noon says, modern fighting game design has poisoned so many people's brains to expect constant fighting and running each other down in neutral. Y'all be free from the shackles of car crash neutral, I promise. And he's the first person I've heard say car crash neutral, so I guess he's coined that term. I originally was saying that fighting games in this day and age are blood sports and Coliseum games, right? They're there basically the spectators want to see us get booted, right? They want to see head cave-ins and boot-ins, and that's exactly what they're getting, right? They need to be entertained more than anything
Are
else.
you not entertained?
Exactly, literally, yeah. And now he say car crash neutral. So yeah, go ahead. So you had an interpretation on what that might be.
Yeah, I think it's a case of enforcing scrambles and winning off of scrambles. And in the game, the hardest thing I feel in tag games is to not be like that, because tag games entice you to be like, this attack or this approach would be risky, but I can tag into the person at the back who's in no danger.
Mm.
So it entices people to be more risky, and I think that's what he means by car crash. So you don't have to win neutral. So my philosophy has always been, to win neutral, you have to hit someone, not make them block. Tag games are a little bit different, where something like Marvel, making someone block is winning neutral. Because if you get someone to block your assist, then you have a mix with your point character. So it's a little bit different. 2xKO is in the middle ground of like an assist game and a 1v1 game, because you play neutral kind of 1v1-ish, because the cooldowns are so big on assists. They're like 5 seconds. That's why you see a lot of cool assists. Oh, I couldn't establish a mix. I'm going to up back for 5 seconds and I call an assist again. But when he talks about car crash, he's kind of talking about double down, where you do super tag. So there's no risk in your mix up because you can't get punished, because Timo's going to hit you with the darts. He's just, and you can't do anything. And then with freestyle, you can go for a mix, and if the mix doesn't work, you can retreat back to the other character by handshake tagging and go back to neutral, wait 5 seconds and try again. There's like, you enforce neutral, not in a way where you're trying to hit someone, but in a way where it's like, you can't deal with all this like BS I'm throwing your way, and I'm going to hit you eventually. That's what I think he means by car crash.
So
that makes sense.
I mean, I more or less agree with what you're saying, but I would just extend it to basically, when he talks about being free from the shackles of car crash neutral, is the fact that like this generation of fighting games have all come out with a very, in my opinion, similar philosophy, right? Of they're trying to force they're going one of two ways actually. It's either they're trying to reset neutral to bring you back to, being able to interact once again, or they're trying to force these burst interactions as much as possible. Like that's why you get like Street Fighter 6 with with Dry Rush and the way that game generally works. You've got like the heat system and heat engager and etc. with Tekken. They're trying to get the Rock'em Sock'ems to Rock'em and Sock'em as much as possible, right? For better or worse, like it doesn't mean that the games are even I mean, so to some people they might be less fun in the way that they're currently built, but regardless, like one thing's for sure is that like it makes the games more fun for a lot of people who just generally want to just watch a good time. Will probably, they'll probably tune in and see people exploding, right, dashing and exploding constantly to be extremely fun, right? Obviously, that's not to say that the other games aren't fun. If people know me, they'll know that zoning has been more so my type of thing. I mean, I like all types of gameplay, but zoning in general had been less and less and less popular, especially even to laymen, over God knows how long. Across everything as well. It's not even just like fighting games. It's just any type of like spectator sport or type of thing where combat or whatever is, if the more defensive and evasive style has just been less and less like popular. And I think car crash neutral is just an extension of like what you're saying, right? It's forcing them into those types of burst situations, and some of which come with less risk for the attacker and maybe more sort of mix up opportunities and whatnot. But I just generally think that it's just like a case of trying to push them up against each other as much as possible to interact and force those types of situations, rather than giving somebody the tools to create either more more time to either think, or more time to bait the opponent and pressure them in another type of way. Because ultimately, like, word to L.A. Akuma, aka I forget his first name, but Schaefer, that pressure wins games, right? But pressure can come in multiple forms. It doesn't have to just be I make you block and then I high low, high low, high low. It can be that I'm at full screen and the time's running down. It could be I'm at full screen, I'm throwing some things at you that's chipping you and shaving you down. It could just be like, regardless, it's a thing that the one person's doing to impair your decision making, to cause you to make more mistakes and for them to take more health off of you. So like, yeah, it's I just think, yeah, that tends to be how I see what he means by car crash neutral, but there can be a few interpretations. I think there was a couple comments in there about in the Reddit that maybe I might try to read out. But what do you think of that so far?
Wait, me?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, no, both everything. I mean, I'm just taking it all in. You know, it makes sense. No, I'm less confused than I was before, or less. I have less questions than I had before now that I've heard the breakdown.
I think they're
I've got a
probably
question
going
for
to do
Charlie.
something. Oh, go on then.
Oh, from your perspective, do you think it's more interesting watching? I'm trying to think of a Marvel 3 equivalent. Do you think it's more interesting watching Chris G play Morgan, or I guess I don't want to put Spartan on the
Or
front. I wanted to
or
use
anyone else?
Angelic.
Shout out to Spartan. Go for Spartan or Angelic, man. I think those are good examples.
Yeah, Wolverine, call assist, go in. Hope the cross up
Um,
hits and it confirms the assist, which is more
Yeah.
like
No,
interesting to watch.
obviously, it's a distillation of what goes into what those two players do, because obviously there's a lot more. They're very high level players, but
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, but just from the visual, what I'm seeing, yeah, the latter, the Wolverine boring mix up 50-50. I mean, they're both annoying, but at least the annoyingness of the Wolverine thing doesn't happen throughout the entire match. Like, it's just you get opened up in a way that's not very creative, and then you do your combo, and then the match ends. Whereas with Morrigan, it's like a whole process. It's just like it's like the visual version of nails on a chalkboard, and but you can't skip the audio. You just have to listen to the sound. So yeah, my answer is the latter.
Is your answer the same when you think about the difficulty or the skill needed to do those two strategies?
Just from a and you're still asking from a spectator standpoint, right?
No, from your because I know you have knowledge, so
Yeah.
but it's not like you're not a nerd.
So you're asking like
So
which one do I appreciate less or more, considering that I know how it works, or
yeah, which one do you think is like more? I'll use the word skillful. Which one do you think is more skillful if you had to pick one?
the what I guess objectively the Morrigan stuff is more skillful. But I can conclude that something can be more skillful but still boring to play out, or sorry,
Yep.
more boring to watch.
I 100% agree with you. I just wanted to see if there was like a difference between me being the like super anal, hyper focused, like what's going on, the inputs, if it was different to someone who didn't care about all the frame data and stuff. But yeah,
Oh
I
yeah,
think
no.
spectator wise, for entertainment, Spartan throwing matches are going to be more entertaining. But when I think about, well, he hit him for 50-50, that's not interesting. What Chris G is doing, trying to keep away from the 50-50, is more skillful. Not to say that what Spartan does isn't skillful, because to get in is the skill. It's the navigation to get the 50-50, which is the skill. But getting the hit with Wolverine, I don't think is that skillful. That is, I've run the 50-50. Was you correct? Respectfully, Spotty.
Yeah, pretty
I
much. Yeah.
know about 50-50s, bro. Like, I played Leo. When I get to back turn, I don't care who you are. You could be the Goichi's like grandfather who got put in a time capsule, was still in their prime at 20 years old. But if I'm doing a 50-50, you have the same chance of getting hit as Charlie. That's just what a 50-50 is.
I hear it. I
Yeah.
think definitely in terms of like in terms of developing those 50-50s, I think that's where a lot of so the skill for like a Spire or a like Angelic is the developmental phase, right? Is to craft something like that can be as oppressive, and that's where like it'll get like, but you don't necessarily see that. You see the results on the screen, but you don't always necessarily know the process. It's the same thing with Chris G, right? I think for a lot of people who are just bored of seeing that the process of what it takes to even develop the traps or to learn like the sort of it's all washed away by the fact that this person is blocking and then he stops blocking and he dies, right? Like, the next person comes in, he's blocking, he stops blocking, and he dies. Like the next one comes in, touches Morrigan, okay, cool, but then like Satan comes in and now Baphomet is just Baphometing and it's all peak, like, do you know what I'm saying? So it's yeah, like I hear it. I hear it. I hear it. But yeah.
Cool. I just like it when me and Charlie are on the same page. I feel a bit more sane.
No, cool. All right, I think that should be most of what we were saying. I think, is there anything else? Any other thoughts that people have? So what we're going for now? I mean, you know me, boy. I could talk for another 6 hours, but if there's any like additional stuff, just so you know.
I thought I had something to say about. Oh yeah, 2xKO. I think the dash blocking is a big thing, and I feel it's one of those kinetic. It's a kinetic vibe that people get when they play a game in terms of movement, where you might not be able to put your finger on it, but when you notice it, it ruins the game for you. And when I realized that there's a lot of things in other games where dash blocking made me feel like I'm doing the right thing, not being able to dash block kind of emphasizes what you said about they just want blood sports. They just want they want people to mess up to get the hit more than they want people to skillfully get the hit. So yeah, there's a lot of like frame traps where because you can't dash block, you have to just quote unquote react, sometimes guess on parry or not. I think that's boring. I don't think that's interesting. I think it's cool that someone's doing a frame trap from like half screen and I can gain like 2 pixels in distance because I decided to dash block. The fact you can't do that, I think is not cool, not fun, not interesting.
I hear it. I mean, the sort of backdashing as well, the dashing away and as some people say, spamming the backdash and stuff is something that people also aren't a fan of. I think if they remove that though, then it's full on blood sports, like you're saying. I think the thing is, right, is that you've got a bunch of guys of clear Marvel pedigrees, but like the game hasn't. It's. I don't want to necessarily say it's closer to a Skullgirls, like, because that has a lot of implications. But let's say it's more of a sense of the screen space they have. They've got a decent amount of horizontal space and not a decent amount of vertical space and other ways you can navigate around the screen. So because you have those limitations based on the way that this game currently works, if you take away some of these sort of movement options, it's going to get maybe a bit rougher in terms of the sort of options you may be able to create or the situation you may be able to create. Then it's going to be more blood sports, because you're going to have people can't move, and then they're going to have to just hold in all the bullshit. And the bullshit, and of which they are just unapologetically, well, not unapologetic keeping in, because like you said, they're starting to nerf certain things, but they are actually sort of at least acknowledge that shit is extremely strong. So if you now stop people from like being able to quote unquote run away, then boy, you know what I mean? Then you really are just holding all of this shit. Do you know what I'm saying?
I think the running away thing is kind of like the Reddit issue.
Yeah.
It's like people that don't play think that the backdashing constantly is kind of boring. I think we've kind of dispelled, like in the FGC, I'd say people kind of dispelled that. Oh, they're playing the matchup, bro. Stop complaining. Whatever. I get that. I think
I agree, but it is worth. The only reason I do bring that up is because it's probably good to have both of those perspectives, just because the fact that it's their money that they kind of want, I suppose, right?
Yeah.
It's just they're the ones who are going to be buying the skins more than we are.
Mm-hmm. No, that is fair. I think more so though, the FGC has been on their knees begging games to have more like autonomy in terms of like
100%.
mobility.
Yes.
In every game. Maybe bar Street Fighter, but that's like a traditional quote unquote 2D. But Tekken players have been saying it in terms of, oh, these moves track too well. I want to sidestep. We've all wanted Marvel free because it was the mobility that made Marvel free. We all overlooked the incoming and the TODs because it was cool to move. You had autonomy. And then Dragon Ball, it took a while for people to appreciate the way that Dragon Ball did it more with floats instead of like flying and dashing. And yeah, I think 2XCO doesn't have that. You don't have autonomy in your mobility. You can backdash away from everything. That's cool. And if they approach, you call an assist. That's fine. But in the mid range, you succumb to the person with the bigger buttons, and that's it.
Right.
You can't walk. You can't dash. You can walk your opponent to the corner. You won't get them to the corner because they're going to sandwich you. Tag. Oh, it didn't work. Well, I'll just tag into the person who's behind you. So now I've got all that walking you did forwards. I can do that backwards now, which is, it's a tag game thing. I get that. But when you limit the aerial options, the vertical options, and you make it horizontal like that, that's what's going to happen. It's going to be. It's just going to be, maybe not for everyone else, but for me, it's painful. It's just a painful experience to be. I'm solo Alawi, even if I played a bit of like Alawi with sidekick Warwick, so I had like a DP assist, and I just found myself going, well, I might as well run at you and call a DP assist. How would I not do that? And
Hail
it's
Mary.
like, yeah, it's a Hail Mary that I don't get punished for. And it's like, oh no, I've become the person I didn't want to, so I just stopped playing.
Hado Shun said Luffy won Evo back dashing. I hear it.
He
also won that. Like that was painful to watch for Bonchan. I mean, I love Luffy anyway, and Rose as well. But man, that matchup was horrible for Bonchan. But
Bonchan is my favorite player to watch in all fighting games ever. And watching him lose to Luffy was like, wow, this guy really did not look at the command list. I don't even think he knew what Rose did.
Not only that as well, but it was like he was not prepared to pick any like he had no pocket character to be like, just in case this Rose comes and absolutely smokes me against Sagat. Let me draw for someone else. He
really threw a fireball, saw Luffy absorb it with the scarf, saw him build a half bar and went,
I'll throw another.
You know what? This time I'm going to do a high fireball, and I'm like, bro, come on, man, please.
I guess that's the equivalent of just dying on your sword, right? He's like, it's like the Titanic's going down. He just breaks out the violin. He's I'm gonna like give you the best song you've ever heard, basically. Like,
it was insane. And like I said, he's my favorite person. But I watched that and I almost reconsidered. But by that game, he's still my favorite person. Like, he makes Sagat work in a game that is hard to control people. So I rate it. But yeah, he just did not know that matchup. So big ups Luffy.
100%. Also, shout out Base Jonesy and said me using a teleport to navigate neutral to run my 50-50 is very intellectual. Kappa. I mean, yes, listen.
He's a strange player, bruv. He's
there you go, bruv. Listen, that's a man after my heart, bruv. Those are some of the best characters. Doctor Strange, what a character.
Dr. Slop.
Doctor
Slop. What do you mean?
In MCI, what a character. Exactly. Dr. Impact.
Blame with the 14. What do you mean?
Bro,
come on.
That carries a constant scratch record, bro. He can't even finish the sentence.
Avocado. He's eating healthy with the avocados and everything.
Bro, what a character. Like, come on. You're telling me that you saw Doctor Strange go from Marvel 3 to Marvel Infinite and watch, like, what a character. Anyone who played Strange in 3 would have been like, oh my god, what a complete character in Infinite. This is incredible stuff. Incredible. Similar thing. Well, okay. Dorm, I would say, they changed him to the point where even though I could argue he's even more fun, it's like, okay, they've changed him, right? So someone might be like, eh. But nah, man. Mm-hmm. Like, Strange, oof, chef's kiss. Just kissing bare chefs everything right now, bro.
Gameplay, I agree. Gameplay-wise, he is a plague.
What a character.
He is a plague. He is a no-skill
doing
character.
Illuminati shit. He's doing trigonometry. He's doing all sorts, bro. Man's doing triangles. He's doing like lines there. He's doing like right angles. He's doing all sorts. He's making you hold L's, making you hold A's, making you hold B's and C's. It's great. It's great.
That bit is sick. It's just the Oki. The Oki.
He needs it.
No, he doesn't need it. See, this is where you lose me.
What
down the stream. You've turned into an agent of misinformation. I can't stop after this.
Listen, it's an agent of he needs it. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm thinking. But regardless, yeah.
Speaking of needs it, I need food, and my food is behind me. Just calling me out, asking me why it's not being consumed. So I must take my leave. But yeah, nice, fun chit chat. Definitely went longer than I thought it would, but I actually thought C4 you had to like go, but I didn't know you were gonna stay on during the pickup. But that's good. I think it's better that you did stay on. So
Yeah,
Got
we got
more
we
out.
I had
covered a
to,
lot of good stuff, man, for sure. Yeah.
yeah,
But
cool,
no,
man. Well, I don't know if you
listen.
two are gonna continue, but I need to eat and rest.
Well, look. Let's just do an official sort of wrap up, and afterwards you can just sort of chat if you
Okay.
want to chat and whatever, right? Either way, thank you all for coming through. You know what I'm saying? That was nice getting a couple comments in there as well. Nice little first official Marvel Mandem. You've never seen Earthbender Charlie play a Marvel game, but doesn't really matter. Like he's now officially, you know what I
Funny.
mean? He's been conscripted
Been
into the
drafted
Marvel
in.
Mandem. Yeah, exactly. So straight
Jumped in
force march.
some blood crew.
Exactly, man. So
Some
you've made the
LA
blood pact. Yeah, there you go. So regardless, I hope you all enjoyed that. We'll definitely try and make it a regular thing. But you know, where can we find you, Earthbender Charlie? Anything you want to plug?
You can find me. Sorry. You can find me on Twitch at Earthbender Charlie, same as what you're seeing on the screen, and my Twitter is EBCharlie, and that's it.
All right, and then Mr. C4IQ, Explosive Intellect, talk to me. Where can we find you? Besides, you know, obviously, I don't say, oh, turn on like Evo, bruv. You'll see me, like, don't, you know what I mean? Oh, you can say that if you want. Actually,
never.
go for it.
No, that's cringe. I would never say that.
All right, right now.
You'll find me in the whatever the Tokon waiting room is, which is probably fighters. That's where you'll find me. I'll just be labbing. You won't catch me online. That is also cringe. But yeah, I'm just going to be theory crafting characters until they release one. I've got a Google Doc. So everything we spoke about with Ghost Rider and Spider-Man, I'm going to put that in there. Just so, you know, we've got a reference sheet and we don't forget. So yeah, I'm going to be working on that. And if you can, and if Chrome can put it in the Twitch chat, can you vote for Gambit and retweet, please?
I'll post it.
Do the right
in there
thing.
right now. I'll post it in there right now
God,
before
Yeah,
we
do
go.
the right thing.
This guy
Artificially spiking the results. Unbelievable.
he's fighting the good fight, bro. He's fighting the good fight. All right, listen. So, I'm
Wolverine's
actually
fought
looking
for a
at it
long
now.
time, bro. Let him rest. Let him go.
So just so you know, right now it's 55% Wolverine, 45% Gambit. Yeah, it's a day left.
Eviscerated.
It's a day left to go. It's an eviscerated.
Eviscerated, bro.
That's an eviscerated.
Disemboweled. Eviscerated, like what Wolverine would do to you with his claws. You know what I mean?
Oh my
Right.
days.
This guy never knew.
Disemboweled.
Let me just post it right
Logan
there. So
stands.
for anyone. Yeah.
Logan stands. Bender. That's one of the people now on, bro.
All right, so
I didn't even put my vote in. Let me quickly put my vote in.
man is gonna. It's gonna
58.3.
what, like 6 burners? Yeah, you got 6 burner accounts. You're gonna just start drawing for them all and just start spamming.
Yeah.
Start botting.
Tipping the scale, yeah? I see you.
All right, so look. So myself, Chrome Alchemist on Twitter at Chrome Alchemist. The Twitch here is also Chrome Alchemist, and the YouTube channel, AdvancingGuardTV. I'll be throwing this and all other sort of content that you probably see on here. I'll probably throw VODs and whatnot on there. Also, just myself waffling into a microphone or just putting match footage on there. In the future, it's looking criminally underused, but don't worry, I'm gonna probably just be throwing some more shit on there over the next year or two, because Tokon is actually feels like a really good game, and so does 2xKO. So you're gonna see a bunch of stuff in regards to that. If not, you might just hear like C4 just hopping on and saying how much he hates 2xKO. We'll have to see. But yeah, regardless.
All right, man.
Yeah. Good talking to you guys, and catch you next time.
stuff.
Stay out of trouble. Safe, you man.
Yeah.
Extra. Whatever.
Peace.
Safe.
Peace out.
I don't shoot shout out to
Alright.
Wolverine, so shout out to Wolverine. Anyway, bye.
Dead that guy.
All right, gents. I'm gonna jump off and yam my yams and get some rest. But nice chat, man.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do the same
chat.
thing.
Safe, man. In a bit. Sorry, we kept you for longer than we expected. I guess next time we'll sort of keep a bit more of a, you know what I mean?
All good.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Learning, growing pains and all that.
Yes, sir. All right. I'm gonna throw this VOD on alongside the previous one as well, and a whole bunch of other shit. So just I'll send links when needed. And safe you, man. And safe chat as well. Shouts to Envy as well.